Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets at Rob. And what a game one we had at Citi Field for game one of the series against the Guardians. And it was a epic comeback once again for our New York Mets. Star of the game, very easily, Starlin Marte. Starlin Marte looked like his old self again. And going 3 for 4, the huge home run in the 8th inning to give the Mets the lead once again after Ottavino and Robinson gave up the leads, I thought the ball game, to be honest. But you know what? The Mets have shown new life over these last 2 series, and it exactly what Mets fans remember from last year and how this team continues to win and continues to fight. Right? It was smooth sailing. Scherzer pitched 6 innings, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. A good outing for him. He had a little bit of a busted open blister or callus that he was pitching through, and he still pitched really well. So, look, if Scherzer can give us quality starts like that, there's no reason why this team can't be that damn good. Especially, I think Scherzer is going to be, I think Verlander is going to be perfectly fine. And if you got these guys pitching 6-7 innings on a regular basis, this team should have no problem winning ball games. And once again, the Mets are now 10-0 when a starter goes 6 innings. And that's not a coincidence. And the constant bitching and moaning about the offense was just not warranted because of the fact that when the Mets get quality pitching, they win ball games. And that is a fact that is going through from the beginning of the season until game 48 tonight. The Mets don't get a quality start, there's a pretty good chance they're going to have a hard time winning the ball game. And that is something that has been the MO of this team all year. Again, I gave everybody homework the other day, right? What did I say? I said to everybody, listen, check how many games the New York Mets have scored 5 runs or more, and I can almost guarantee you that if it's not half, it's a little bit more than half of the games they played. And you could say, Rob, the runs per game are skewed. Well, yes, they're skewed either way, but you can't bring up 7.5 runs per game given up by the Mets starting pitching, but don't talk about the runs per game for the Mets, right? It's that much of a difference where the New York Mets get quality starts and they win ball games. There's too many games this year where the Mets scored 5 runs or more and they lost. Those are games they win last year. And, those, I guarantee you can count it between 4 to 6 games. And that's the difference between being 4 or 5 games over 500 or where the Mets are now, 1 game over 500. And listen, they're playing a lot better now. You can see the quality at bats that everybody is getting in this lineup. And everybody, even Vogelback actually put the bat on the ball and it went fair, which is amazing. But let's give credit to Starlin Marte because everybody was like, I don't want to see Marte in a lineup anymore. People were like, oh, they got to DFA him. They got to do this. They got to do that. And this is what people were talking about. And Marte, look, he's been struggling. He's been terrible. And today, everything that we remember from Marte last year, he did in game 1, right? Throwing out the runner at second by a mile. Going 3 for 4 and getting a huge home run in the 8th inning that put Citi Field into a frenzy. Everybody went nuts. And you know what? As soon as Beatty got that walk, there was just this different vibe. The team, the energy of the team, you saw the fans go crazy. As soon as Beatty walked, loud "Let's Go Mets" chant, loud all over the ballpark. And then Marte hits the home run, and here you go, guys. You see Pete Alonso, they probably showed it on TV. Waving the towel, pumping up the fan base, pumping up Citi Field, and it was just fun. Eric, okay, he got picked off at first base. All right, Vogelback was going around in circles at second base and got called out. Listen, it wasn't a good play. I'll give you that. But the guy had his best game of the year this year. You're gonna DFA him. That's cute. You clearly don't know baseball if you're going to DFA a guy who was your best performer last year. And if you noticed, the same guy that you want to DFA is the same guy, number one, won you a ball game today, which probably wouldn't have happened without Marte throughout the entire game. And the same guy that was out in September and the Mets couldn't recover because Marte wasn't in the lineup in the month of September in 2022. Marte, again, there's no excuse for him being bad this year. But he made up for that mistake. And you're talking about what inning? The first inning. What did he do the next 8 innings? Because he was one of the only players that basically showed up today. Let's be honest. Nimmo actually had a pulse today, right? He was 3 for 24 before that home run? Thank God, because listen, the start time for the game is 7:10. Well, I know people keep on talking about last year, but again, it's still the matter of we focus on 4 weeks of a season, but nobody likes to talk about the other 5 months. Granted, people all around the league, everybody talks about the Yankees injuries and why they couldn't get to the World Series. You heard about these injuries and that injuries. Every excuse under the book for the Philadelphia Phillies, who continue to play bad, right? That is the problem with people, and especially the people. Listen, it's clearly everybody is going on and forcing and fighting the Mets. Like, it just seems like everybody's against the Mets all of a sudden, right? Every call now seems to be going against the Mets. Both of those calls today, the replays, all year the umpires have been not changing calls that were close. Whatever the call was on the field, they wouldn't change it unless there's 100% evidence of the call is wrong. It was both of those calls were too close to change those calls on the field that were on the field. Yet the replay guy for the Mets was the best in baseball last year, and now he's one of the worst. It's clear there's an agenda when it comes to, let's be honest, the New York teams. Let's be honest. Judge getting those low strike calls, which is still ridiculous. Like, I don't see why an umpire can't look at knees to waist or knees to letters for any batter. I don't see why it's so hard to do that. And let's be honest. Look, it's clearly an agenda by these umpires. It's with both New York teams, right? You see, like I said, I think pitchers should be able to use some type of substance that can help them grip the ball, because it's clearly a problem around baseball. But yet, who has had the biggest problem with the umpires this year that you always see? Like, for how long? It's been the Mets and it's been the Yankees. It's been a revolving door. And it continues to be a problem. And sooner or later, somebody has to go to the MLB offices. If that's the Mets, if it's the Yankees, somebody has to go to or talk to the MLB offices and say, like, what is the agenda for these umpires? Why are they looking to pick on the New York team? You can see it. It's obvious. And I don't need to give any credit to the Yankees. I don't want to. But let's be honest. You watch the Yankee games. You watch the Met games. The amount of calls that are getting overturned or not overturned on replay is, look at the Yankees and look at the Mets challenges this year. They've lost nearly 85% of them. Yet around baseball, everybody's in the 85, 86 percentile of getting their calls right. Now you're going to tell me the two best teams that had the best challenge guys all year, they were number 1 and 2. The Mets were 1, the Yankees were the Yankees were number 3. All of a sudden they're that terrible now? That doesn't make sense. There's clearly an agenda by Major League Baseball, or at least, the very least, the umpires. And it's getting to the point where it's unfortunate because of the fact that it's hurting our teams. And listen, I'm not trying to give any type of credit or any type of positive vibe to the Yankees, but come on now. It's really getting to the point where it's clearly obvious there's an agenda by these umpires. There is no reason why those two calls today that were called on the field, they were way too close to change the call. And that is the same thing that I was talking about. If you go back to a stream a week ago, they're not changing calls all around baseball that is close. If the call is out on the field or safe on the field, if it's too close to call, they keep the call on the field. But when it's the Mets or it's the Yankees this year, it seems like everything is going against the Mets safer out. It's getting to the point where it's getting stupid now. And somebody has, I don't care if it's Buck Showalter, the front offices of the Mets, the Yankees, it doesn't matter. Something has to give, because it's really stupid now, and it's getting embarrassing. It really is. But you know what now, Ken? Honestly, Boone, it seems like he's getting thrown out every game. And let's be, at some point with this guy, listen, Boone can get thrown out every single day, right? But he's the same manager he's always been, and that is a guy who gets given the lineup and can't actually do a bullpen. And same thing with Buck. Buck has problems too. But come on, guys. Let's be truthful about both managers, right? Right? They both haven't won nothing, right? Both with their respective teams won games, and they both have issues with the bullpen. It's obvious. But it's also a fact that something needs to change with these umpires. Clearly Boone going out and fighting every day and getting thrown out every day is not helping his cause, because every call, everything that's been, the sticky stuff or whatever it is going against the Yankees. They're winning ball games just like the Mets at this point now. So both teams are overcoming the stupid asinine calls that these umpires are making. And there's clearly an agenda. The umps obviously, and Major League Baseball obviously wanted to make Scherzer the headline when it came to the sticky stuff, when you saw Herman the first time right before Scherzer get a pass and then stay in the game. And again, you've seen it again with Clark Schmidt, who was able to clean his hands and stay in the game. Joe, I'm not saying they're doing this on purpose. See, I don't think it's mostly Major League Baseball, because remember, the umps is their own organization, right? They have their own union. That is something that the umpires have control over. And the problem that I have with, the sticky stuff with the hands, there's no exact rule in the new sticky stuff rule that says how much somebody can use. They said excessive amount. So what is that? If I pat my hand twice on the rosin, that's too much? Everybody's hand's different. Everybody's hand sweats different. It depends, me and somebody else can pat our hands the same amount of times with the rosin. I guarantee you that both of our hands will have different types of stickiness, because that is obvious. Nobody has the same type of print. Nobody has the same type of skin tone or the skin complexion or whatever it is, or the tacking, or, some people have rougher skin than others. And it's just, that's how it is. So I just don't understand it. And it seems like they're picking on the two New York teams. 7:10, 7:05, who knows? It's ESPN. So whatever time it says, it's going to start 5 minutes later, because that's just what happens. Let me just check what it says. I think it's at 7:0. I don't know. 7:10. I don't even know, to be honest. 7:05, 7:10. Who knows? But we'll see. They're warming up right now, so I'm assuming it's 7:10. So once again, the New York Mets are wearing their black jerseys on a Sunday. I don't know why. I saw that on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, cool. All right. Mic'd up for the Mets is Jeff McNeil tonight, so that'll be interesting. So they're probably going to have to bleep out everything he says, because he's going to curse about 10 times today. So once again, guys, we talked about the umpires that are completely finding ways to make themselves the center of attention with the New York teams. It's obvious. Bouchard, listen, with Ottavino, I said this from even last year. He had a really good year last year. But Ottavino is that guy. What he's doing this year, where he's either very on or very off, that's his career. Last year was an anomaly, okay? That was it. If you look at his whole career, he never had a career like last year. And with relief pitchers, they're so volatile that I usually think they're going to go more to the back of their baseball card than having another year like he did last year. I wouldn't even say little inconsistent, because he's been already bad this year. He's been good at times, but I don't trust Ottavino. I don't trust him at all. He can't hold on runners. If his slider's not on this year, he's walking the ballpark, and he's giving up meatballs to everybody. He's a guy that needs pinpoint control with his slider. If he doesn't have it, he's in trouble. Again, as soon as he gets a runner on base, there's an automatic problem. It's just a problem. He can't hold on runners at all, and it's a huge problem. I think, yeah. Well, you know what? Who did they use? They used Ottavino. They used Rayley, Ottavino, and Robinson. So yeah, Josh Walker might be here. Excuse me. Josh Walker, Drew Smith. Again, it depends. Look, let's be honest. And I'm gonna keep on using it because Ken loves them three words. Let's be honest. I'm gonna make a shirt, and I guarantee you Ken will buy 10 of them just for the hell of it, right? Let's be honest. We need Verlander to go 6 or 7 today. That's it. Pitching good or pitching bad, he's got to take the brunt of it. He's got to pitch 6 or 7 innings. It's just that simple. That's what he's got to do. So before, I don't know what time this game is going to start, 7:05, 7:10, ESPN, ESPN time is like, I don't know, West Coast time that nobody cares about, right? Yeah, Rocky, but you know what? Honestly, they actually, with Matt Allen was the one guy they were counting on to come up, and he should have been up if he was healthy, because anytime he pitched really well. It's just that he can't stay healthy. That was one of the guys that they were expecting to be up in 2022. If you look at his projected timetable to come up, it was either last year or this year. And it hurts when you expect that guy to come, and then it's not because of talent, it's because of injuries. It sucks. Bouchard, you know what? They're going to be very careful with Rayley because of the fact that he just came back from injury, and they don't want to lose him, because if you notice, as soon as Rayley goes down, yeah, Josh Walker can be the lefty, but there's really nobody you can trust as a lefty, and that is a problem. So you got to be careful with Rayley. Again, you need Rayley, Smith, Ottavino, and Robertson as your top 4 guys. You can't lose one of those guys. All right, you gotta take care of them. And again, it's a doubleheader today. If in a big spot, you might have to use Rayley for one batter, or even Robinson for one batter, or Ottavino for one batter. You never know, right? But you're gonna see a lot of the back of the bullpen. I guarantee you're gonna see a Tommy Hunter. You might even, you're definitely gonna see a Drew Smith at some point, right? Whoever else is in his bullpen, because it's like a revolving door with this bullpen in the back end. So, Nogosek, you're going to see those guys tonight. Unless Verlander goes 9, which I think most of us probably expect he won't. But give me 6 or 7 innings. You give me 6 or 7 innings, even if Verlander is not pitching well, you got to give us a little bit of length. It's very simple. Well, Jonathan, he can't get demoted because Vogelback has enough years on his resume to not accept a minor league demotion. DFA'd, he might. I think he might. But it all depends on the fact if the Mets are winning. I see it this way. And, it was talked about it with the Yankees with DFA'ing Aaron Hicks finally, right? Why mess with the quote-unquote apple cart when everything is going well, right? In my opinion, when things are going well and you're winning, don't try to change stuff just to change stuff. Because not saying that Mauricio comes up and it's going to, mess up the balance of the mojo, the vibes we're having in the dugout and with the Mets right now. But when things are going well, there's no need to change stuff when it's not needed. The Mets needed to bring up Vientos. They needed to bring up Beatty, right? They needed to bring up those guys because the team was struggling. Now that the team is doing better, they seem like there's more energy. The offense is better. The Mets have won almost every game so far in the 4-game winning streak via the home runs, right? Mets are winning games on home runs. I bet you wouldn't have believed that if I told you that a week ago, right? It's just how it goes. And yes, the home run from Vientos and Beatty and Alvarez is awesome. But you see the difference when, if Marte's done and most people thought he was just shot, you don't have a day like he had today. And the reason why I say that is the fact of the matter is you saw the bat speed today. You saw the aggressiveness in the outfield. You saw the arm still there. Everything that you wanted to see from Marte or that you seen from Marte last year showed up in this ballgame. And let's hope so. And again, we won 2 series in a row, guys. That is a big deal. The Mets are either going to be 5-1 on this, 5-1 on this homestand, or they're going to be 4-2. I said before these 2 series, the Mets have to go 4-2 at least to get back to where they need to be. Warren, I understand that he's tearing it up in AAA, but why mess with something that's working right now? The reason why Vientos and Beatty were called up because the Mets needed some influx and some energy. The team's winning now. The team's vibing now. There's good energy on this team. Not saying that Mauricio is going to provide bad energy because he's probably not. But why mess it up? And same thing with the whole Aaron Hicks nonsense with the Yankees, right? All of a sudden, Aaron Hicks performed in one of the games and helped the Yankees to win a ball game. And basically the next day they DFA'd him. Why mess with the team when you don't have to? That's it. That's all. And that has nothing to do with Mauricio not tearing it up in AAA. I like to see, right? Vogelback got he had good at bats today, put it that way. Right? Everybody had good at bats today. And again, when things are working out, I don't think you should change it up right now. All right, guys. So losing is no longer an option. Let's go Mets. Well, Rocky, every team's going to lose. You know, the Mets are not going to win every game just like any other team. But look, the key is, listen, 7, 8, 9 game winning streak is awesome. But you know what's more important? Winning series. The Mets win, 5, 6, 7 series in a row. They're going to be 6, 7 games over 500 by the end of the month. Right? So, once again, guys, we're going to start off with the lineup really quickly. And, of course, it's going to be at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to share my screen with MLB.com and Game Day. Be ready to go. And the game's going to start in about a second. So, give me a second, guys. Let me just make sure everything's rolling here. So the Mets will have Brandon Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Francisco Lindor playing shortstop, batting second. Batting third, Jeff McNeil playing second base. Pete Alonso cleaning up, playing first base. Brett Beatty playing third base, batting fifth. Batting sixth, Mark Canha playing right field. Mark Vientos DH and batting seventh. Tommy Pham playing left field, batting eighth. And, of course, Francisco Alvarez catching, batting ninth for our New York Mets against Shane Bieber, who it's going to be a good pitching matchup today. It's there. Bieber and Verlander. It's a good matchup. The kid BB that pitched in game 1 is a very good pitcher. He was called up this year. His ERA was good. He looked really well. The Mets took advantage of it. So the game's about to start in about a minute. Verlander is on the mound with the Mets warming up. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Let's get more people in the stream, more Met fans in the stream. Met fans should be pumped up right now. This team has come back in every bowl game in the last 4 games. 3 of them, big time comebacks to win ball games. Couple of walk-offs, couple of late inning heroics. Get pumped up, Met fans. This team is 100% different. You can tell what happens when you get a quality freaking start from a pitcher. This team wins. No coincidence that the Mets are 10-0 when their pitcher goes 6 innings for them. That's a big deal. That's why these pitchers need to strive to get to a 6th inning. No matter if the team is winning in the 6th inning or trailing in the 6th inning, the Mets are 10-0. So that's either they're leading at that point or they're coming back at that point or sometime after that. So it's important to get that quality start. It gives your team a chance to make those comebacks. So with that said, Mets, Guardians, Game 3, Game 2 of the day. Mets in their Blackout Friday jerseys. Now it's a Blackout Sunday. Let's go. Let's go, Mets. Hit on that like button, guys. The Mets are about to start, and we're going to get the volume up. Let's go, Mets, guys. Let me know if you can hear it on your side.
Strike out separates him from most other guys. Scherzer got him in the first game in his first at bat. Verlander misses there. But second lowest strikeout rate in baseball this season. Third lowest whiff rate in baseball this season.
No, actually, I got about 7 of them, Joe.
A lot of guys in the Guardians last year, really big seasons, which allowed them to night too.
Come on, Justin,
This
let's
year,
go.
Some of those guys down a little bit, really across the board. On center field.
Right to Nimmo. Nice catch. One out.
To recover and make a sliding catch.
A little hesitation. I ran a Nimmo in center field who last year started playing deeper than usual.
After the commercial break, guys, if you didn't see my community post with the Francisco Lindor bobblehead, I'll show you it once the inning is over. Change my hat. All right, I'll do that.
Rosario, the designated hitter in this one, Verlander, spins one in there at the top of the zone, a curveball. He fouls it back.
Hey, Ken. Let me not talk about all the messages you sent me about Nimmo's. I mean, every day you were sending me 3 for 22, 3 for 21, 3 for 24. Hey, listen. If Marte and Nimmo start going, this 1 through 6 is scary. Come on, Justin.
Late inning heroics. They did use Ottavino and Robertson today. 0-2 as Verlander delivers.
Todd, I understand what JD Davis is doing, but he is playing every day with the Giants. The Mets didn't have a spot for him to play every day. And again, the Mets gave him opportunities to get many at-bats at DH. He struggled. That's it. That's all you can do. Ground ball should be 2 outs. Boom. That was a gun by Beatty at third base. Yeah, Muttley, but you didn't talk about Nimmo being 3 for 24 before that home run, right? Because the Mets are winning ball games despite Nimmo these last couple of games. That's how bad he's been offensively.
Part of the baby Mets debuting this year and playing regularly. First pitch to Jose Ramirez, the third baseman, misses away.
That really is the story of the Mets, right? With all the offseason payroll talk, it's really these young kids that have come up and given them a jolt of life.
Ramirez homered in game 1, put the Guardians up as Verlander misses down the way. Yeah, so it's Beatty at third base, Vientos, who's the DH, and Alvarez, who's behind them.
I think it's fine. It's all right. Don't bother me.
Came up through the system together.
Popped it up. Foul ball.
No, it's not.
I agree, Muttley, but here's the problem. He was still recovering from that wrist that he had in 2021 where he had that problem, and it turned over into 2022. Look, the Mets are trying to make a move because Davis, Smith, Cano, all those guys. Oh, that's gone. Wow. I don't even know how he hit that ball. That wasn't even a bad pitch. 1-0 Guardians. Wow. Same with me. Well, that wasn't a bad pitch. That ball was up and in. Yeah, he missed his location. It was supposed to be outside. But
He's as quick as anybody on the inner half of the plate.
yeah, I mean, you just gave a home run to the best hitter in the lineup.
Superstar that you might not have heard of.
But
Jose Ramirez, fantastic player.
Verlander gives up a lot of home runs. I mean, that's a fact. In his career, he gives up a lot of home runs. And his first inning is usually his worst inning. So
This is another guy that does put the ball over the wall for the Guardians. Naylor's got 7 homers on the season. Jose Ramirez now has 6. McNeil smothers it and goes out Naylor.
Listen, I don't see that he's washed up. That doesn't make sense. Again, do people watch? You see, here's my problem with a lot of people. Do you watch a pitcher when they're not wearing a Mets jersey? Verlander in his career gives up a lot of home runs, and a lot of them come early on in the game. He is the type of pitcher that he's always been in his career. He always gives up home runs. Like, this is not new news, guys. Like, you got to do your homework a little bit. Just because they don't wear a Mets jersey and you have asinine comments that make no sense. Jason, I agree with that. But the guy won the Cy Young last year, and look how many home runs he gave up. People only look at the ERA and be like, oh, he's bad. But please do your homework. Like, you shouldn't be that. Listen, there's too much information out there easily at your fingertips. That all you got to do is check his stats. Verlander in his career, and that was with the Astros as well, where he had his best years, gave up a lot of home runs, and especially early. Thank you, Taco. Appreciate that. Thank you. A smart comment. Thank you. Yes, most power pitchers give up home runs. You know why? Because they challenge hitters more than, your 3 and 4 starters that, try to hit their spots and, try to, basically throw bullshit up there at times. And exactly, it's only a solo shot, guys. Listen, would you rather give up a home run to Jose Ramirez or Bo Naylor? Exactly. That's the point. It's 1-0, guys. It's not 7-0. Okay, Lisa, but you know what? Nobody is worth all that money. Anybody, right? Nobody.
Verlander is a Hall of Famer, though.
All right, so Mets are coming up. Guardians got a 1-0 lead. Bieber on the mound. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Marte in the game in this. Again, he had a good game. You got to give him. Listen, he's clearly hurting. You got to give him a break. Don't mess with him. Verlander could have been making $1 million and people would be bitching. Like, it's just that simple. The guy gives up home runs. He's done that throughout his career. If you don't know that, you don't do your homework. But what was the money he was supposed to get when you win a Cy Young the year before? Because if the Mets wouldn't give $43 million, I can guarantee you somebody else would have. Because Verlander, the only guy who wasn't there was the Mets. There was other teams there.
Right there tells the story. I mean, there's less four seamers, more sliders, more cutters.
Ground ball. Should be one out. Yeah, Joe. I think Gary Sanchez has to be. Like, Nito will probably come back. But again, see, I think the Mets like Gary Sanchez because he has that power that comes from nowhere. He sucks otherwise, but
the opponent has scored first. 13 straight entering game 1 today.
yeah, I mean, Cesar, I mean, just look at power pitchers and what they do, right?
This is Lindor. McNeil
It's very simple. Like,
Francisco, 230 is an average.
I just don't get people. Like, you got to do your homework, guys.
The OPS plus just above league average. Swinging it, yes, there.
Yeah, it's like pitchers give up home runs. It's called baseball.
Watch game 1
It's a sport that's been around over 100 years.
Felt
It
like
happens.
Something with the release of the hand, the bat for Lindor, it almost made you feel like he might be favoring something.
It did not look like it was 100%.
Yeah, I think at the very least, Nito should be the guy that's in AAA just in case of an injury. Put it that way.
He's out there every day. You know what to expect either on the offensive or defensive side of the baseball.
And Carl, I asked Lindor.
I think Bieber has a Cy Young. I think so.
He heads it up on.
But he ain't even the same pitcher anymore either. His fastball's down 2 or 3 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss there from Lindor as he goes to a knee. And a good at bat for Shane Bieber. He's got 2 up and 2 down.
Beauty of these spinning pitches, you can see he's on the side of the ball. It's right over the heart of home plate. You can get a lot of strikeouts if you can drop a breaking ball right on top of
Yeah, Bieber's pretty good, but he's not the Bieber that was 3-4 years ago. Right? He's not the same. He doesn't throw as hard anymore. He's still got a nasty curveball. That's for sure. Like he's throwing 91, 92. He was throwing 95, 96. Was it? Oh, was the COVID season? Then who cares?
Barzell's the home plate umpire. It appeared to be a little bit off. Here's the next one from Bieber. That's right.
And that's a base hit by McNeil.
He started game 1 off with a hit. He starts game 2 off with a hit. As he continues to crawl back towards a 300 batting average.
Yeah, but you know what, Todd? DeGrom also doesn't stay on the mound either. Give me a Verlander who pitches 29, 30 starts a year, and for the majority of those games, he pitches. Jason, did you watch the last couple of games, or were you just asleep? I'm just curious. I'm not sure. All right, so Pete Alonso grounds out. You know, I think there's so many issues with people that think that every batter, every inning, you got to get runs. Like, baseball doesn't work like that. And I don't think people realize that. Again, you know, T-ball, Little League, you know, AAU, high school, college, minor leagues. That's what happens, guys. I mean, Jason, are you a Mets fan, or you just want to live in misery? I'm just curious because it just don't make no sense. Again, were you watching the last couple of games where the Mets actually showed life over the last, week, 5 days? Like, I just don't understand. Okay, Jason. So what about the 21 game sample size when the Mets were 14-7? So you want to split up the season? All right, let's split up the season. Let's have fun, right? I agree, Jason. I agree. I'm not saying the 40 years of horror is not there. It is. But can you stop talking about history because it means absolutely fucking nothing? Let's be honest, guys. Come on. Jamek, probably not. I'm going to say just under. But yeah, I get it. But could we stop talking about history? Because if history mattered, the Braves should have won last year. The Dodgers should have won in 2021. 2009, 2010, the Yankees should have won 2010. Doesn't work like that. Okay, so is that an excuse, though, Lezen? Like, I hate when people talk about that. They're the best team in baseball. Did you see who they threw against the Yankees? But yet the Yankees got all the credit for taking 2 out of 4. They didn't even win the series. And the Yankees got all the credit. Oh, the Yankees are back. They weren't facing their best pitches. I'm sorry. You're facing the best team in baseball. They don't have to do – yeah, they could have. But people weren't complaining when they were starting off fast last year, and they completely fell apart in the month of September down the stretch. How about for once the Mets actually go off to a slow start and then pick it up the rest of the year? That'd be nice because the Mets always get bitten. They're like snake bit at that point when the Braves always play bad in the first part of the season, and then they come, speeding down at the end of the season. Maybe the Mets are doing that. Oh, I agree. That's why I'm talking over the broadcast because it's a waste of time. Jimenez, this should be an out right there. 1 out. No, listen, I understand that. But look who the Yankees faced. Nothing special. Like, the best team in baseball is the best team in baseball.
Scherzer picked up a bunch of strikeouts earlier today.
Jason, nobody's saying that. But they've played better in the 2 series than they have in 3 weeks. It's a start. You have to start somewhere.
Just 19 guys on that list. list of the 3,000.
Well, John, I agree.
That's a
I agree.
club.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Get into that territory, you're definitely a strong Hall of Fame candidate. We know
Well,
Verlander,
Jason, it might be.
Scherzer, we're both
I don't know.
100%.
They got caught with 60 stuff 3 times in like a week. And with the whole judge thing that,
They should be
was it cheating?
unanimous selections, I
Who
think.
knows?
We've only seen one of those, Mariano Rivera, but Verlander and Scherzer have accomplished enough where they
Well,
should be
ESPN is in bed with Major League Baseball, so we already know they're going to shit on the Mets. They always do. Ground ball, base, it's a base hit.
He is aboard.
Elias been swinging a very good bat as of late. The last 2 starts with 2 home runs. Staying back well on this pitch. Saw I got the foot down and was able to recognize it. Drill into left field.
And what people also forget was that Verlander didn't really have a complete spring training, and then he got shut down for a month. What did he have? 1 spring training start? So this is basically his 4th start, right, of the quote-unquote year when he restarted. It takes time to build up your arm strength and get your routine in order as well. The same thing that's a pop-up that should be caught by Pham. 2 outs. I like Carl Ravis, but it's the people around him that make it worse. Like David Cohn. David Cohn's okay. And don't get me wrong, ESPN has gotten better, but they're still not as good. What was that girl's name? Was it Rodriguez, Mendez, I think her name was? And A-Rod, it was a freaking disaster.
For me, it was always Fenway Park because of watching Louis Tiant in the 75 World Series when I was 12 years old. I'll never forget that.
Jason,
Watching how charismatic
I
he was
agree.
on the mound.
Yeah,
Style,
her.
it was like none other. I'd never seen anything like Louis Tiant.
Well, that was a long time ago, Stezzo. Not too long ago. But, I mean,
All the mannerisms and shakes and shoots.
Right now, my dad.
and don't mind me for talking over the broadcast because they're just talking nonsense. They're not even talking about the game.
Or would we call it a sweeper now?
It's a sweeper. Yeah, Louis Tiant threw a sweeper, that's for sure.
And for a strike, the very speedy Miles Straub, center fielder in double.
He is very cocky. I'll give you that, Lisa.
Francisco Alvarez.
Listen, it's a doubleheader. You're not going to play all your starters for those 2 games. You just don't do it.
And this is Tito Ball here. He understands his team. He knows that Miles Straw is not a home run hitter. Hasn't hit one in quite some time. Farthest ball he's hit this year.
Shut up. Why do these announcers jinx everything?
If Harris is caught, you can start off with speed next inning, especially with Cam Gallagher on deck.
Longest active streak in baseball without seeing one go over the wall.
It's in the closet right now, Joe.
Here, 2-2 count. Perfect count. Go on.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster. Because not even, 3 months after they didn't get the team, they broke up.
2-2 not going. This is down away. 3-2.
Well, Leeson, you might have seen that on TikTok, but if you see the Mets cars, let's be honest, they all got those cars. Trust me. And listen, let's not act like we were making millions of dollars. We would be driving something like that. Come on. Ground ball should end the inning. There you go. Inning is over, so Verlander gets through with 0 on the board. Cleveland leads 1-0, and the Mets are coming back on the bottom of the second. No, and if people watch the game and watch Verlander, you got to remember, guys, Verlander had a spring training. Opening day, he was scratched from the lineup, from the rotation, right, from the start. Missed a month. So that means he was throwing on the side, but it wasn't actually pitching to build up arm strength, right? It takes, if you notice in spring training, most pitchers pitch about 4 or 5 starts in spring training to build up their arm strength. Verlander had 1 start in spring training, which was like 65 pitches or something like that. His first game back, he had 75 pitches. Only gave up 2 runs, those 2 home runs, right? Next inning, next game, 85. Then he built it up a little bit more. Yeah, he is. He's throwing look, if you look at Verlander in the first couple of innings, he throws like 93, 94. If you watch Verlander throughout his career, which clearly some people who are commenting don't and didn't. And I'm not saying you have to watch every Verlander start with the Astros, but go back and just watch. He builds up his arm strength throughout the game. If you looked at even his last game, even though he didn't pitch well at Citi Field, he was throwing 95, 96 miles an hour by his last couple of innings. He did that in Detroit as well. He's building up that arm strength, and he gets stronger when the game goes on. That's been his career. He's a guy who gives up home runs. He's always done that. But what he does, he gives up a lot of solo home runs. He doesn't put a lot of people on base. He's not a guy that walks a ton. When Verlander's not on, he walks a lot. That was the whole game at Citi Field. His first out in that Citi Field. It wasn't good. Why? Because he walked a lot of batters. Verlander, when he's on, does not walk batters. He'll give up his hits. He'll give up his home runs. But he doesn't walk batters, which always limits the damage. And that's where you have to pay attention and look at Verlander. Not just his ERA, not just looking at the first inning. Oh, we gave up a solo home run. So what? It's one run. As I said, quality starts in baseball now is 6 innings, 2 runs. You can come back from those. Jason, I like that.
Running at a 3-0 lead over LeBron. Coming from a 3-0 deficit.
Well, Sean, that'll be his problem.
NBA.
Come on, Brett.
We'll see. And you see, they look at the NL East standings.
That's a base hit. There you go. Leadoff hit. Brett Beatty's starting to get a little hot now.
Get used to it, Met fans, and Met fans have seen Brett Beatty hit the ball well, middle the other way. See where that pitch was located? It was a 92-mile-per-hour pitch on the inner half. He brings
Let's go, guys. Let's go, Danny. I like that positivity. Let's go. Ken, according to some people, I guess so. He pitched really well in his AAA outing. Come on, Mark. Oh, that's gone. Stay fair. Oh, just foul. Damn it. Ken almost had an opposite field home run there.
Roseburg is making a little more contact this year. Canada is strikeout
Damn.
rate, if it continues, will be the lowest of his career. Great effort. Great effort. Seems to be celebrating that his friend got it instead of him.
Come on, Mark. Let's go.
A 1 to count. And this one's also fouled off. Jams him inside. 3 homers, 12 RBIs. The Mets early this season in production from their outfield hadn't been great. If you compare it to the Guardians, it seemed okay, but Canada and Marte were struggling.
Double play.
earlier. Here's a double play ball. Jimenez, Arias, and they do turn.
Damn it. Ken Doze? Not much. Hey, Brandon, what's up? That was like an emergency hack there. On that 2-strike count, he was clearly going after that.
Strong throw. Right to the hammer.
Classic Bieber style, too. Staying off the barrel of the bat, getting you on the ground, roll them up.
All right, Vientos up.
Vientos, the designated hitter tonight. Another one of those baby Mets. Alvarez, Beatty, and this guy Vientos all start the season at AAA. So, Coney, it was Fenway Park. You, of course, grew up in clubhouses. Did you have a ballpark you wanted to play in and where you wanted to hit in?
I grew up in Riverfront Stadium where they changed the Signature Field to name, but to me, growing up there was magical. The first time I was able to step into the box, but I was in awe when I got into Old Yankee Stadium.
Ground ball should end the inning.
Arias across the nut.
I guess Vientos sucks too since he grounded out. Should DFA him next, right, guys? Can't DFA anybody. You have no team. Well, listen, you know what? We didn't even get a lot of snow this year. I'm shocked. I agree, Ken. I agree with that. Like it says, look, I'm not giving no credit to Vogie. You know, he had good at bats today. Like that's just the truth. I mean, you watch him; he had good at bats today, but he's not the guy we need. Like I have no problem putting Vientos as the everyday DH. I don't see why that is not an option yet. Joe, I gotta go to get the black hat. Timeout. All right, we're gonna go with the black hat Shea Stadium vibes. How about that? Oh, and by the way, guys, let me just show you the bobblehead, the Francisco Lindor bobblehead. There it goes. It's got the grass and all that fun stuff. His hair is blue. So there it is right there, guys. It's a pretty cool bobblehead. I can't wait for the grass to grow. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We're watching Mets Guardians game 3 of the series and game 2 of the day. Mets won the first game of the doubleheader, looking to sweep the Guardians, which would be 5 in a row for the New York Mets. And that would be very good going on the road after this game. Well, Joe, I don't know. Even though he's trying to feel the ball, he don't even have a bat in his hand. So that tells you all you need to know, right? Excuse me. All right, guys. So top of the third, 1-0 Guardians.
Jeff McNeil, a question tonight. He joins us now before Verlander throws the first pitch. What
All right,
about
McNeil is mic'd up.
your wife and your son Lucas out of the field in between games? What was that like?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. My wife texted the game. I think they were supposed to run the bases, but weren't doing it today because of the double header. So just brought them out. My wife talked to them, and I got a great
Well,
time.
the mic's very low on Jeff, so you're not going to hear it a lot.
There for a strike, so you're lifting him up. How old is he that he's moving around the bases like that?
10 months. So he's moving pretty well for 10 months, and hopefully have a little athlete on our hands.
Next one to Gallagher, swing and a miss. Speaking of athletes, you know, you were a multi-sport athlete. You were a real.
I don't like how they talk to the players when the actual game is going on. It's cute during the All-Star game, but other than that, it's stupid.
Well, this plan A. So I wanted to play college golf and everything, and play some tournaments. Didn't play too well. Didn't really have any college offers. So I started playing baseball again my senior year. Had a scholarship to Long Beach State in a few weeks.
I was going to say, man, those Honda Civics are no joke.
And Gallagher behind 1 and 2 to Verlander.
You can run that damn engine to the ground. Nice pitch. There you go. Look at that. 95 miles an hour on Scherzer. He gets stronger when the game goes longer, guys. It's that obvious.
Scholarship.
Yeah, when I got to high school, I had to decide baseball or golf the same season. So our golf team was really good. So wanted to play golf, and didn't really get the kind of offers I wanted.
There you go, Grant.
To play college. So picked up baseball again. I still played a lot of summer baseball. My brother was a big time prospect. He's a couple years younger than me. So
Yeah, those maintenance cars. People think, oh, I got a Mercedes, I got a Lexus. Yeah.
All right, so who's your favorite golfer?
Try fixing that damn thing.
Fan question.
Or just even getting yearly maintenance on that sucker.
fan question. I love Tiger Woods. You want to think everyone loves Tiger Woods, but also I love watching kind of the younger guys, Xander Schauffele. He's fun to watch, and hopefully he's going to win some big tournaments here pretty soon.
Bolikwa, I agree.
All right, 1-1.
Round ball, right to Alonso. Should be 2 outs, and it is.
Fans at home kind of stuck on the whole golf thing. Maybe the PGA Championship influenced that. What's harder to do? Shoot par in golf or hit 300 in a season?
For me right now, I don't know. I mean, I play a lot of golf. I'll shoot some even pars. I'll shoot some couple unders, but baseball's tough. You got to do it for 6 months. Golf, you got to do it time machine car. So I'm gonna say golf. Golf right now for sure.
One of them, the ball's moving, and the other one, the ball is sitting there. 2 down, and Verlander.
Yeah, I love baseball because you can kind of hit it anywhere. If you get a good pitch, you got a nice big field here to drive the ball anywhere. Golf, you're trying to get it in a 4-inch hole, 450 yards away. So that makes it a little difficult.
Oh, but what's it like? We had Lucas, who's 10 months old. You got a baby, but you're surrounded by baby.
Yeah, Grant showed me the picture of that bad boy, I believe. That's a nice car.
Fantastic. You got Beatty, Alvarez, they're all contributing big time to this team.
Come on, Justin. Ground ball. Right to Lindor. Should end the inning. And it does. So Verlander's back on track. 2 solid innings after the first inning of a solo home run. Again, this is what Verlander does, guys. It's not, it's not rocket science. Just look at his career numbers, look at his stats during games. And, I'm a baseball nerd. You guys know that, and I'm assuming a lot of you are as well. When the Mets get a player, I don't randomly guess what these guys do. I don't just look at 1 year and say, oh, this guy is good. Now he's not. It doesn't work like that. Baseball don't work like that. Even go back to his Detroit years, which was probably not as great as the Houston years. If you look at it, he struggles in the first inning, which a lot of pitchers do. Even great pitchers struggle in the first inning. He's a guy that gives up home runs. He's done that throughout his entire career. But what I talked about earlier, when Scherzer is on, I'm sorry, not Scherzer, Verlander is on, he doesn't walk people. And when he gives up that solo home run, it's not heartbreaking, right? It's the 2-3 run home runs that hurt. And that's why it's a killer when you start walking batters. Verlander is a guy who, throughout his career, is a guy who throws strikes. He is a strikeout guy, but he has no problem letting the guys hit for contact, as you noticed in this game so far. What's up, Captain? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, exactly, guys. It wasn't fatigue. He was going to go pitch out the 7th inning. The callus that he had on his finger ruptured, and he was pitching. I think it happened in the 2nd inning, if I think I saw on Twitter, and he pitched through it. If you ever had a callus on your hand, and again, if you pitch, it's probably more of a problem. I remember I didn't pitch, but I remember one of my friends I played in college with had always used to get calluses on his middle finger, where most pitches, the last finger on the ball is your middle finger. And he used to get a huge callus on the tip of his finger. And once it got too hard and he keep on, the ball keeps on rubbing on it, it's going to burst. And his burst all the time, and he used to pitch through it. It's painful, but you can pitch through it. At some point, you have to get out of the game because your finger's going to freaking fall off. That's how, it's like rug burn at that point. And it's painful. All right, so Tommy Pham is leading off in the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Cleveland.
3 home runs, 10 RBIs for Pham, who's the left fielder tonight. The next one, hard on the
Tommy
ground.
Pham, ground ball, and this is what Bieber does. He gives up a lot of ground balls, 1 out.
Arias throws it out.
Exactly, Cesar. I think Gary Sanchez was fine. He came up in this, he had that fly ball that got Beatty over the 3rd early on in the game. He got the base hit. I think he was fine. You know what Gary Sanchez does? He puts a little bit of fear in a pitcher because he can always take somebody deep. That's it. Oh, yeah. Well, Jason, yeah, even with swinging, it's a good example. And let's see what Alvarez can do here. And I'll talk about that after the innings over.
He is to be a great catcher. Watch videos during the pandemic while he was shut down of guys like Rio Muto, Christian Vasquez, Sandy, Mr. Salvador Perez.
Well, Showalter says he believes in it. He thinks he's going to catch on this level for a long time. It's not just about his bat, but that is where the surplus value comes in. Sure. Because his potential offensively is.
Yeah, I did say so.
Neither league right now.
Honestly, I think it's ridiculous now. I think they're overdoing it. These umpires. The umpires want to be involved, and that's the way. That's another way to get them involved. That's a problem.
See what Bieber does now behind 3-1 to Alvarez. Challenged him.
Oof, that was a pitch he missed.
That swing is for real.
He's mad at himself because he knew he missed that pitch. That pitch was middle in. That was the same ball he hit for that home run the other night. Oh,
This one here was
he just
middle.
missed that.
He was aggressive like he should have been, but he's looking in that one spot.
Check it. Yes, says the
all right.
first base umpire.
Gotta walk.
Okay, he'll go down to first as Bieber issues the walk.
And a lot of young
Well,
Yankees
Stezo, you weren't here earlier, but I think
stage of-
both
because
the Yankees and the Mets, Major League Baseball has it out for them this year. All the situations that are happening, a lot of it's happened to the New York teams. Well, I don't necessarily think you have to use the sticky stuff. Let them use as much rosin as they want. I just don't understand what's the problem. It's a legal substance.
And now Nimmo.
Come on, Brandon.
Shows you how strong he is, though, to be able
And when you don't have a good grip on the ball, you're going to develop blisters quicker because you got a little bit less of a grip on the ball. When it releases on your hand, it's going to rub against your hand more.
Nimmo 1 yard, game 1 of the 0-1.
Well, Captain, it's funny you say that, though. But they also had 4 of their 5 pitchers free agents. So what were they supposed to do? They don't have no farm system with pitchers, so they had to spend money. But they weren't really buying the championship. Like, let's be honest. This is not how it happened.
Show off was telling us about Lindor guys earlier and how he posts. You guys mentioned that already. Injured or not feeling well, he's gonna play. Said they learned that about Nimmo too last year. Like that's a big, what he calls sixth tool in a player, the ability to
Yeah, Captain, it's a
show
huge
up and
problem.
play every day.
It's a terrible problem around the league.
Good block that time, like Gallagher behind the plate.
I've heard it all the time for years. You know, we worked also with Rick Sutcliffe. Right? He always said the best asset for a lot of players is availability, and that's what he was talking about. Being able to post, go out there, be accountable for your teammates. He was able to do that last year.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. All right, ball 3.
2-2.
2-2. Excuse me.
I think what Sutch said was the best ability is availability.
But he's the poet. I'm not.
You got a 2-2 count. Alvarez off first.
Ball 3.
3-2. So, Sun last.
You know, even though, the Mets haven't been getting, hits at the moment right now, they're not striking out. They're putting the bat on the ball, which I like to see.
3-2.
Oh, yeah, that's a base hit. Right past the shortstop. First and second, 1 out. Oh, yeah, a lot of these umps, they're getting up there and pay. But again, I can care less about the pay. The point of the matter is you have a job to do it right. That's it. It's not that hard. Like, in the offseason, you don't do nothing. Maybe you should be working on your craft. Just a little bit more. Come on, Frankie.
Struck out on 4 pitches. He had 3 swings and misses. He was first at bat.
Is Nimmo getting on one of those streaks again? Nimmo's very similar to Lindor. When they're hot, they're impossible to get out. They're very similar with that, obviously in different ways. But offensively, when they're hot, they're very hard to get out. Come on, Francisco, let's go.
Offense, when somebody says that about Lindor. Wait, what do you make of the season?
No, Ken, they don't make that much, but it depends, on years and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, Stetson. No, Cowboy Joe West, he retired.
The expectations are different as well. And what he's done also on the defensive side of the ball is excellent.
Ground ball. Oh. Whoa. All right, so they get the runner at first, and it's second and third with 2 outs with Jeff McNeil coming up. Well, refs around the league, NHL, NFL, NBA, all bad.
Talking about the fans, thanking them for staying with him. Clearly,
Well, Captain, listen,
New York wanting to be the guy,
look,
wanting to live up to the
the
contract.
Braves are the NL East until somebody takes it over, right? It's just that simple. Like, I'm not one of those idiot Met fans that are not fair to the obvious situation here, right? The Braves are NL East champs until they're not. That's the way I see it. Come on, Jeff.
And if you're a right-handed first baseman, most likely you go second with that. As a
Ken, I've been saying that. And you know what? People were talking about that today at the seats about Lindor and the left-handed hit and why he even bats left-handed. Come on, Jeff. Base it.
Contact hitter. Lays off the Beaver. Curveball. 1-1.
Come on. Jeff, come on.
Right underneath. That pass is a big deal to get ahead. 1 and 2, and then a really good play on the ball that was nearly thrown away.
See Bieber's style.
Well, the catcher almost threw that ball away.
Pitches that look like strikes and end up like balls, and pitches that look like balls and end up like strikes with the movement that he has.
That would have been interesting. All right, Jeff. Get that 2-out swing going here.
1 and 2. Alvarez at third.
Right down the left field
Gil
line.
second.
Oh, Jeff, come on. And the Mets do not score. Left 2 men runners in scoring position. Going to the top of the fourth. 1-0 Guardians. Well, the Mets had the hitters they needed up. They didn't get it done in that inning. So, once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We got over 100 in the stream today. Appreciate that, guys, 100%. I do appreciate all the support and keep on giving that love to the Mets because it's important to support your freaking team. Again, you can criticize, you can be down on them at times, but let's be honest, guys, we always come back. It's very simple. No, I agree, Captain, but the whole point is that the fact of the matter is that, you know, people say the Mets choked in September. If you look at the Mets record in September, it was 500, right? It was their worst month of the season, 500. That's hilarious. Like, that's not a choke job. And we got to remember, the Braves played like 7:30 ball ever since June 1st last year. Like, it's very hard to, you know, the Mets would have had to play, you know, all right, the Mets had to win 1 game against the Braves, and they would have took the tiebreaker, and that would have been about it. All right, look, the Mets didn't play well against the Braves. That's obvious, right? The pitching didn't show up. Yeah, Ken, you could say that too, but again, I keep on going back to Marte. When the Mets lost Marte, which was, he was the driving force of the top 4 guys in the lineup. He was the table setter. He was the guy that got the big hits. If you look last year, Marte led the league in clutch RBIs last year as our number 2 hitter. When you take that out and you would throw in Jeff McNeil in there and other guys in there, it looked different because now you lost the guy who was your batting champion in your 6th spot where he was best, and you put him in a spot he's not comfortable in. And that was the problem. And again, they had to overcome it, but it was a huge problem because the guy that you counted on the most, let's be honest, Marte got that top of the lineup going. You know, Nimmo was good last year, but he's better this year. All right, top of the fourth, 1-0 Guardians.
Especially you guys, right?
What do you see in Justin Verlander tonight?
No, he got 2 great pitchers.
You know, at some point, guys, you got to give credit to the Braves for playing 7:30 baseball through June 1st until the end. You know, the Mets lost the game by a tiebreaker. You know, it wasn't 7 games with 17 to go. That's a choke. All right, that's a choke, and the Mets did that. That's a choke job. When you play 500 baseball in the only month of the season, and every other month you're 10 games over 500.
That back leg slider. Ramirez is so quick in. If you leave anything on the
You gotta
plate
go-
on the inner half, he's gonna
Yeah,
take a good
ever
fly.
since June 1st, ever since the Harris call-up, it changed everything for them. And the Mets are hoping to hit lightning in the bottom.
Think about Ramirez.
You know, not saying it's going to be, Braves-esque because they bring up the young kids, but it's possible. But maybe for once the Mets start slow and pick it up the rest of the year, because they haven't done that. And the year that they start slow and picked it up around June, July was when? 2015.
Holds up. Similar pitch that McNeil swung over twice. Ramirez holds up on, and now we go full.
It's a great effort by Verlander and a great take by Ramirez right there. That's where you want to attack him. Bad down and in. See if he can swing over the top of it.
Ground ball, right to Alonso. There you go.
Verlander over the bag, one down.
Well, Stenzo, exactly. That's the goal. Like, I can look. Everybody wants a division title, right? Absolutely,
Take a couple shuffle steps
right?
towards
But-
his right. Justin Verlander having to get
Who
to
cares?
first.
Right? Do you think the Phillies care they won 87 games and we're the last playoff team? That's it.
It's at 15 currently.
You know, it doesn't matter. Just get into the playoffs and anything can happen. We've seen that over the last 10 years.
Second, his first time up.
I think, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is one of the most difficult.
Listen, that's kind of easy. I don't like the Phillies. I never have.
Is
I have more dislike for the Phillies than I do the Braves and the Yankees. I don't know why. I just do. Maybe it's the fans. I don't know.
Catch your breath until you make the next pitch. Things change.
Come on, Justin.
See Verlander breathing.
Nice
Yeah,
pitch.
the only remedy you have as a pitcher is a mound visit. To waste a mound visit to try to get some extra rest.
Yeah, Rocky, but
Hitters have that
Come on.
one timeout they can call per at bat.
the Cespedes trade
Yeah, disengagement.
changed the whole lineup around. The Mets had pitching, absolutely, but they had that pitching in 2015 in the first half.
Great point. It's been brought up by some managers and coaches.
The problem was,
Whether you're covering
and what they did, they started off very slow, and then by July, they picked it up and they rode that to the World Series.
I mean, it's ever present. Verlander begins his delivery with 2 seconds left on it. Misses inside.
No, it's a game changer. It's a dinner changer. It's every kind of changer at home because you get home earlier. I mean, it is a big time adjustment for the pitchers.
Well, Jason, was it all year pitching? Was it?
In games.
Because in the first half, the Mets couldn't get out of their own way. And the lineup was bad. And pitching was pretty damn good. But if it wasn't for Cespedes, this team would have went nowhere that year. But we started off slow, and we picked it up at the end of the year. Nice pitch, strike 3, baby. Right on the dot. Love it. 2 outs.
Second strikeout of the night for Verlander.
And, we can go back to 2015. Teams that start slow and pick it up in month 3 or 4 of the season usually get into the playoffs and play well.
It's more about life with Verlander.
Well, Ethan, this is what he does. All right, we took the last start and was like, all right, that was bad. Yeah, it was.
You see that was a strike, and it's because he throws the ball from a high release point, like you had said earlier, that it would appear to be lower, and it's not.
It's not only a high release point, it's that stiff front leg too, the way he lands and posts up with kind of a stiff front leg. But what that does is race him to generate arm speed too from that high release point. It's really nobody throws the ball like he does.
2-0, Jimenez.
Nice pitch.
2-1. Talk about the 3 Cy Young awards.
Again, you can see Verlander on right now.
Top 5.
Every pitch
Twice he was
is
second.
knee high,
Some believe that the year
every
he
pitch.
finished second, he
and he's dotting the outside and inside corner. There it goes. Another down ball. Every ball down. The one ball he got up was a ball that Jose Ramirez took deep. Exactly, Jason.
I think so. You definitely do. And you're looking at coming
But
at
people forget. Do everybody remember that game against the Padres when the Mets are ready to win that game? It rained. They stopped the game. And that's a shot right to Canada. And the inning is over. Mets coming back up 4-5-6 for the Mets. 1-0 Guardians going to the bottom of the fourth. And exactly. And again, Murphy wasn't a great player, but he performed like a great player in the playoffs. Look at last year. Did you see the guy who had the best numbers in the playoffs for the Padres last year? Trent Grisham. And again, it's rare that the best players, all of them perform in the playoffs. Like, you always need that one guy like Murphy. And again, Murphy was better player than Trent Grisham, right? Trent Grisham was batting like 190, and then in the playoffs he was batting like 310 with like 5 home runs. Grant, Rosario looks bad. Like, he was better defensively with the Mets than he is with the Guardians. Jimenez is obviously the better player. But, man, he is bad. Oh, man. And you know what? Let me give a shout-out to Amed Rosario, though, because today he was signing autographs for Mets fans today. He was standing there signing autographs, talking to people. So he was always a good guy. I remember meeting him when he came up with the Mets, and he was cool as well, so he never changed, and that's a good thing. Yeah, Dre, I don't even want to talk about Ohtani because I don't think it's going to happen. You know, if you're looking at the Angels right now, they're a game or two over 500. They're right there in the mix for a playoff spot. They're not trading Ohtani. They're not. I'm telling you right now. If you know Artie Moreno, he is not trading Ohtani. He'd rather keep Ohtani and make enough money off of him in the later part of the season than trade him and lose all that revenue. I'm telling you that, guys. He believes he could still sign Shohei Ohtani. In his crazy mind, he thinks he could still sign Shohei Ohtani. Oh, Ken, I thought you were going to say first time, long time. To all our WFAN fans out there. All right, guys, so we're going to the bottom of the fourth. Mets trail by 1, and Pete Alonso's leading off.
Thankfully for us.
What are you seeing so far tonight in Shane Bieber?
And Mario, appreciate you tuning in, buddy. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy the channel. Keep on coming back for more. I appreciate the subscribing. Thank you.
He just knows how to pitch.
Jerry, thanks. Back to you.
Not much to thank. So 11 of the
Yes, sir.
13
Yes, sir.
guys he's faced, he's gotten ahead with first pitch strikes. Now he's ahead of Alonso as we begin the bottom of the fourth.
Oh, get out. Come on, Wind. Warning track power. He just got under that ball right there.
Ray Guy type swing and result from Alonso, but it's an out.
Well, Dre, listen. It's obviously going to be the West Coast teams. You know, the Angels always have a shot to re-sign him because, one, they're on the West Coast. And you know what? We don't know how much Mike Trout has influence on Ohtani. We don't know that. Like I said, I do think that there's a big possibility he can go to the Dodgers. But people are talking about the Giants as well. Remember, they lost Correa. They lost Judge. They have a lot of money to spend. So that's something that you have to look at as well.
This is a team that has the fewest home runs and yet the most intentional walks. 15 of them, and 9 of those have been to Jose Ramirez. You don't generally see like few home runs.
Well, Japanese players like to stay on the West Coast. You know why? Because it's closer to home.
2023 so far.
But
one thing is for sure. We know that Steve Cohen is going to give the biggest offer. It's just a matter of, is Ohtani going to take it? Remember, the Yankees didn't give the biggest offer to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge had a bigger offer from the Giants and a bigger offer from the Padres. He chose the Yankees because they gave him the extra year. That was it. Not more money, extra year.
297, 371, 466 with an OPS plus of 141 for Jimenez last year. And that's a filthy pitch. And Beatty.
That was a rough at bat by Beatty. That didn't look pretty.
Spin them away.
You know, Bieber's not striking out a lot of guys, but he's fooling them.
In your back pocket, thinking about how Bieber is getting you out. Did the same thing to McNeil, and he repeats. Tight slider down mid.
Well, one thing you notice with Bieber is that
And here is Canna.
Bieber doesn't throw his breaking balls for strikes. They're all in the dirt.
There are guys coming back. Kenzie, Savale.
He throws his fastball for strikes. The breaking ball and the off-speed pitches is usually not for strikes. So they got to lay off that a little bit.
This guy is a key to their success on the mound. They need him to be that ace and win the games he starts.
They're almost legendary for how they develop pitchers.
Yeah, you know, Seattle's interesting. Boston, I don't know.
Groomed in the Cleveland system, and you can see over the years Bieber's K rate dropping as he relies more on soft contact.
And that's a base hit for Canna with 2 outs. All right.
2 out single in the left for Canna. Another one that's 100 miles an hour off the bat. Bieber left that one up. He got away with one to Alonso, but not there at Canna. And here comes the DH.
All right, Vientos up.
27 years young. He's got a year left as Bieber. There are some who believe that this may be the time, the season to move him, so another team will get 2 years out of him. I saw that with Juan Soto last year. You want to get 2 years out of a guy that you don't know if you're going to eventually sign again.
Ken Aldrich,
They've been pretty good.
COVID can travel from New York to Florida,
Getting the good pieces back.
just like that.
And then as Rosario for Lindor.
Well, if you notice something from Vientos, and it's a big hole in his swing, he can't hit that major league slider. That slider on the outside corner, he chases every single time. There's another slider.
Ground ranging to his left, Ramirez will go to second.
And the inning is over, and the Mets do not score in the fourth. Going to the top of the fifth, the Mets trail 1-0. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button if you haven't already. If you're a new subscriber to the channel, appreciate you guys checking out the channel and giving me a chance. Hopefully, you guys keep on coming back for some more Mets live stream during Mets games. And, of course, latest news, rumors, highlights, all that fun stuff. And don't forget, tomorrow, guys, 7 p.m., the Shea Bridge Show with me and Hayden, Mets Talk with Hayden. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel, as well. He brings that analytical content to his channel and a little bit of that analytics to my channel as well. So, once again, check out his channel, Mets Talk with Hayden. He will be with me tomorrow as the co-host of the Shea Bridge Show. That is every either Sunday night or Monday night, depending on when the Mets either have off or have a game during the day or something like that. Obviously, tonight, 2 games during the day today, so it was hard to do it. So, once again, check it out tomorrow, 7 p.m. Tomorrow, the Shea Bridge Show. We're going to go over the Rays series, the Guardians series, and we're going to look ahead to the next couple of series for the following week. And we will do everything. We'll take all your questions. We have more time to talk to you since there's no game tomorrow. So, we get into it. We interact with you guys, and it's a lot of fun for about an hour and a half when we do that show. So, again, the Shea Bridge Show is officially a podcast as well. So, make sure you go onto the playlist of on my channel and you get the podcast. You can listen or watch to every Shea Bridge Show that we've done 6 already so far. So make sure you check it out. And again, viewer discretion is advised. There was a lot of cursing over the last 2 or 3 Shea Bridge Show because the Mets have actually been playing like garbage over the last 3 weeks. And this is something that, you know what, we all feel, right? So this little viewer discretion is advised. Close your ears if you don't want to hear it, but it does happen. And again, you understand the frustration if you're a Mets fan over the last couple of weeks. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Me and Hayden going to go through this week's games and then next week's games as well. So top of the fifth, 1-0 Guardians. Verlander on the mound.
We started with bigger isn't always better, but as video boards go, it's massive. This ball to center.
Nimmo does not see the ball.
One pitch.
Uh-oh.
Look out.
Woo.
Look like Nimmo, but he's having a hard time.
Nimmo lost the ball and recovered. That was not easy.
Yeah, but it's this kind of night. We saw Stephen Kwan do the same thing at the end, putting his hands down, saying, "Where is it?" for a second, and it's once it goes over the upper deck area, you lose it right there, and then he
Woo.
picks it up.
That was a good recovery there.
Usually say
No, you know what? Right now, it's it just started finishing getting completely dark. So you're in that twilight where it's like right on the edge of getting completely dark. So it's a bad, like, weird glare. Actually, it's like a light blue sky. It's basically almost the color of the ball. Like, it's not easy. That's a rough sky right there. It's not even dark yet.
Solstice. Not touching it. Tony, what are we looking at here? This guy's 40 years old.
Captain, sometimes you have to do it.
And still pitching off his fastball, too.
How unique, how unicornish is this?
As we said, it's like his idol. Nolan Ryan did that. So
Well, you know what's funny about the runs scored, right? Everybody bitched and moaned about no home runs. That's all the Mets have been doing. Is hitting home runs to win ball games. So, you know, are they relying on the home run now, which they couldn't even get? And that's a shot. I think Nimmo got that ball in the gap, and he does. 2 outs.
He saw that one the whole way. 2 down, game in a row retired by Verlander.
Great things happen when good friends get together. So grab a glass, amigo. Our tequila is your tequila. Our casa is your casa.
All right, so there's 2 outs. Verlander is in a groove right now. Straw is up, the 8th hitter.
Now, quickly, Miles Straw. Strike one.
Verlander's pitch count is at 61 in the 5th with 2 outs, so he is right on par
43 years young, an ERA of 187.
with
Verlander,
a pitcher that can go 7 innings if he keeps that pitch count where it is. Maybe further. Ground ball should end the inning. Oh, wow.
Good speed by Straw down the line.
That was a good hustle by Straw right there. You know, that ball was up the middle. It was hit soft. It's soft, so that was something that he had to. That's not on Lindor at all. That ball was hit slow up the middle. That was a play with a fast runner. It was going to be a close play.
Straw in double figures with 10 stolen bases already. Look to get into scoring position as Gallagher looks into all one.
Huge infield hit as well, because now you get Cam Gallagher out of the way. This inning, Miles Straw, the only way he could and should steal second is if he knows 100% he's going to be safe.
Oh, almost picked him off.
No reason to get picked off. You stay right there as Stephen Kwan is on deck, and Cam Gallagher has had his issues offensively this year. He's hitting 104.
Score 87 on a test, you're doing okay. That's their success rate with stolen bases. That's in there for a strike. Game 1, Doug Glanville, Tim Kirkshire, anybody that loves base running, we're not having a good day because there was some incredibly bad base running decisions in Game 1. Marte got picked off first while he was seemingly falling asleep. Saw runners going to second and third on balls that made no sense. Verlander now has conceded. He's thrown over twice. So with this disengagement rule, he can do it one more time. But if he doesn't get Straw, then he will advance to second base. Boy, you're chasing high cheese there at 94, way out of the zone. And Gallagher does Verlander a favor.
All right, let's go, Justin. Come on.
He's not going just because of the hit that's in the box.
Popped it up. Oh,
Alvarez went down, so Verlander gives way to Alonso.
wow. The backswing hit Alvarez and he just fell back. It looks like he's okay. Oh, Jesus. Well, they got out of the inning. Jesus. That happens a lot with Francisco Alvarez getting hit with the bat. That's like fifth time already. I wonder if he's too close. Like he's in a different spot as a catcher. You know, like the catcher is about maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 inches, maybe about a foot from the batter. I wonder if he's a little more closer because it's been happening a lot. You know, Captain, look, the problem with Citi Field, and again, I've done day-night doubleheaders before. There's nothing around Citi Field, right? They got the K corner, which is connected to Citi Field, but it's run by the Mets. So, you know, you're not going to a bar where you're not going to spend, you know, you get $5 for a beer. It's the regular price, just like Citi Field. There's no bars that can hold a good amount of capacity, and there's no restaurants around. You know, you gotta basically get in the car and get something. So it's like, you know, I would have stayed, but it's like, you know what? I knew I was going to do a stream, so I'd rather do the stream. And, you know, it was a long day, you know, coming from work, going to the game. So it was a long day. But, yeah, again, Verlander gets out of it. And, again, Alvarez gets hit with the backswing. No problem, Captain. Well, Alan, it depends on what type of beer. You know, the tall boys beer, you know, the ones, the tall cans, they're running between $14 to $16, depending on which one you get. Right? You know, like I don't, when I go to Citi Field, I usually don't drink a lot of beer because I am driving. So, you know, if I'm out like on the road, you know, when I'm going on the road trips to see the Mets, that's when I have a few beers because usually most of the time I'm not driving or the hotel's like across the street from the stadium sometimes. But when I'm at Citi Field, I usually, because I'm driving, and usually I'm either, you know, night games, I'm going right from Citi Field to work sometimes. So, you know, I usually don't drink, but when I do, you know, like if I want, you know, a little bit of a, you know, kick, a little bit of an energy boost, I'll have like the Arnold Palmer, you know, hard iced tea or something like that, the twisted iced tea, something like that. Ken, you can bring whatever you want. So we're going to the bottom of the fifth. The Mets are trailing by 1. Mets had opportunities, but couldn't get it done. There you go. Grant's going to bring everything. Tommy Pham leading off.
He's okay. He's in the on deck circle. It's Tommy Pham.
Guys, I'll be right back. Enjoy the game.
Bottom 5, Guardians. First run, and the only run came on a home run from Jose Ramirez, his 6th of the year in the first inning. Verlander and Bieber have been on point until that pitch. Catcher on catcher prime right there. Caliber's a catcher. You can see he was upset about it right away.
So, as you know, Sean and Leslie, who graciously bought me a ticket to the game on Thursday against the Rays, was calling Vogelback Tommy Boy. And that's a nice play by Bieber.
Hard hit ball by Pham. How hard? 107 miles an hour. Put yourself on the mound with a rocket like that, and Shane Bieber ran a fielder's position.
No, you know what, Leeson? They're very strict with that stuff around there. You know, it's a state that, you know, you can't do anything in. So, but you know what? Steve Cohen is starting to help build up. You know, as you guys know, the Major League Soccer team NYCFC is building a stadium right across the street from Citi Field. They're building apartment buildings. They're building restaurants around there. Soon there might be a casino. So there's going to be things to do after or before the game. So that's a good thing. All right, Alvarez is up. All right, Francisco, let's go.
Both Omar Narvaez and Tomas Nido are going to be back at some point. It feels like close to May, close to the end of the month, maybe beginning of June, and then they're going to have a log jam behind the plate here at Citi Field. Billy Epler, Buck Showalter figure out what to do. And Alvarez gets regular time behind the plate.
Oh, see, that's why the umpires are so inconsistent.
Might be inclined to do.
Yeah, they want to keep Alvarez catching on a regular basis, and if they get the 2 veterans,
That was the same pitch you called for a strike. Now it was a ball.
Maybe Alvarez goes back to the minor leagues.
Well, he's in. That's that is a big city moving. That's the way it is around here.
Really happy about it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Alvarez, the 9-hole hitter. And he pops this one up. Naylor going over into foul territory. Right
Wow.
in front of
I thought that ball was going
the
out.
dugout.
2 outs.
Makes the play. Nice smile on Naylor's face.
Might not be a bad option if he becomes available. But he hasn't really been good this year either. I agree, Alan. All right. Here is Brandon Nimmo with 2 outs.
Back to the top of the order.
Nimmo starting to look a little better at the plate.
Poor kid grew up dealing with a rodeo and his whole family, and it was a rite of passage for him. And once he got bucked,
See if Brandon Nimmo looks for, try to take one deep here since there's 2 outs.
built him a batting cage there, and Brandon Nimmo became a superstar baseball player.
Nimmo just gets a lot of good at bats. He's got a high on base percentage coming into this game. Sees a lot of pitches, over 4 pitches per plate appearance. He's just really developed into the player he is today. It's been a learning curve. Bud Showalter talked about it last year. This kid's ceiling is off the charts. And he's still kind of learning who he is as a baseball player.
There you go, Captain.
Never got a hit, 0-2 in the last couple of breaking pitches. Fell short.
Those were on purpose. This guy's been in control the entire game.
He has.
3 of the 19 hitters he's faced in this game start him off with 1. The rest
Come on.
has been dominant ahead of the count the entire time.
2-2, here he comes. And
Ground ball, right? Wow.
In a non-shifting environment, Jose
There you go.
Ramirez could not have been-
And a ground ball, and it was hit hard, but right at the third baseman in a shortstop position. And the Mets go 1-2-3 in the 5th, going to the top of the 6th. Mets still trail 1-0. So we're in a situation, guys, where the Mets are having a little bit of issue of scoring some runs right now, but that's okay. We'll get there. Well, listen, again, if you're around there, if you're around the Citi Field area, you do know that, the big thing that was going around over there was, chop shops all around Citi Field. A lot of those have been bought out. There's a couple left, like 1 or 2, maybe 3. They're all going to be gone by probably the end of this year because they're building NYCFC Stadium right across the street from Citi Field, which is also going to be built next with apartment complex, a high-rise apartment complex, and Steve Cohen has one of the bids in for one of the, I think it's 3 or 4 casino license, and I do think Steve Cohen has enough, lobbyists to get what he wants in New York, so he'll probably get one of those licenses. And as you guys know, Jay-Z is another one who is getting probably going to get the other license to put it in the city, which will be a disaster. But I ain't going to the city anytime soon, so who cares? So, but again, they got to build it up there. You got to be able to do things pre and post game. There's nothing to do. Like a day when you have a day-night doubleheader, if there's a casino, if there's a couple of restaurants or bars right there, you can go to eat for 2-3 hours, for an hour and a half just to waste some time before you get into the ballpark again. And that's what he does. And, Steve Cohen didn't make all that money, the billions and billions of dollars he has, without not knowing. Listen, there's a reason why people go to Yankee Stadium, and it's not just about them being a winning team and making the playoffs almost every year, right? If you go around Yankee Stadium, yeah, it is the Bronx, but there's bars and restaurants all around River Avenue.
Verlander here
You know, the famous one that everybody seems to go to is Billy's, right? It's like a club, bar, restaurant. Like, it's 2 floors. It's huge. And you wouldn't think that would be there in the Bronx. And it's there. It's right outside. Popped it up. Should be 1 out. And, oh boy. And it is. Yeah, I don't like Yankee Stadium. I think they built it's terrible. Like, at least Citi Field, you can walk around the entire ballpark inside the concourse and you can see the field. Yankee Stadium, you walk through brick walls. Like, that's just the truth. But there's things to do outside, and that's why they get a little bit more of, you know, the casual fan into the stadium, because there's something to do before and after a game. Well, at least they kind of did. You know, they built a nice park area and baseball fields. It's nicer than what it was. It's true. Nice.
To the first base umpire. He said 0-2.
Correct, Grant. 100%.
So numbers wise, you look at this Guardian offense, and they are runs created.
It was this way. Absolutely.
77. So
like, every time you go, there's something different at Citi Field. It's crazy.
That's why Francona said it's every night feels like a playoff game. And the margin.
Well, isn't, you know what? You can go anywhere in New York and that can happen. Like, let's be honest.
Imagine if we actually
like, I don't go to Yankee Stadium on every day, obviously, but I go when the Mets play the Yankees. That's it.
Perhaps, Buster,
so a little bit of update on Verlander. He has 74 pitches with 1 out in the 6th. So, you know what? Didn't he throw 100 pitches already this year? I think he can go 7 innings as long as you don't get into some big trouble. And that's a nice pitch to us, striking out Rosario. And again, why is Verlander's pitch count down? He's pitching to contact, and he only has 3 strikeouts. You know, the one bad pitch he made was the hanger to Ramirez in the first. That's it. And again, I'll give you this stat again. When a Mets pitcher pitches 6 innings, no matter if the Mets are winning or losing or tied after the 6th inning, the Mets are 10-0. So there's something to say about quality starts.
Fastball above the zone at 95, 1-0. Verlander's kept the leadoff man off every inning.
Popped it up. It should end the inning. There's going to be a tough play, though. Oh, all right, babe. Damn it. Dropped it. Foul territory. Come on, guys. You play together all the time. You got to do that. You got to call it. But then again, Beatty was playing shortstop because of the shift. So that was a tough play for both of them.
Alfred did the right thing. Beatty takes over on that play, but it's not because he's playing.
I mean,
more
listen, you know what?
Area.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. You know, Yankee fans troll a lot, but again, when you're at the game, nice pitch. And I'll talk about it after the inning.
Love the reaction by Ramirez, up in his face, and then the other end, you had Dustin Verlander sort of scratching his bill in the cap, saying, "Okay, what do I do next?"
Harris will stay there. Cleveland tonight 0 for 11 with 2 strikes.
Ground ball. And it ends the inning. 70 pitches for Scherzer through 6. Mets trail 1-0. 2-3-4 coming up for the Mets. And again, guys, like I've been to Yankee Stadium, God, how many times? I've been to the old Yankee Stadium against the Mets. I've been to the new one, obviously, when the Mets play. The Yankee fans will troll you all day online on Twitter and all that. They're not that bad in person, right? They'll have their moments, you know. They'll listen. You root for your team and you talk shit about me and the Mets. That's fine. That's back and forth. That's fun, right? Honestly, I've told this story before. I got thrown hot dogs thrown at me, beer thrown at me in Philadelphia. All right, those fans are a bunch of, and again, it's not all of them. It's only it's certain ones. Yankee Stadium, I never had that problem. Yes, Verlander. I'm sorry, I said Scherzer, didn't I? I had Scherzer on my mind since I was at the game today when Scherzer pitched. Yeah, Verlander, 6 innings, 70 pitches, so he's probably going to go off for the 7th, no matter what. Yeah, and like I said, I've been to an Eagles game when the Cowboys played. That's even worse. And I've been to a Rangers Flyers game at the time. I don't even know what it's called anymore, but it was the Wachovia Center. And again, Yankee Stadium is not that bad when it comes to the fans. Everybody ends. Look, when you don't act like an asshole or a jerk, and you just root for your team, nobody's gonna mess with you. When you start getting into people's faces and acting like a 2-year-old, and like a punk teenager, that's when you're gonna look for. That's how you get into trouble. Like if you just root for your team, and start a let's go Mets chants or stuff like that, you're fine. It's Philly's another interesting place, but going to the Dodger Stadium, I know Dodger Stadium is bad. I've heard we've seen stories in the parking lots. It's dangerous there. But me and my dad didn't have a problem. But then again, it was a day game, so it wasn't a night game. But it's an experience, trust me. And I love it. I love going to road games. I'm not going to lie. I love it. I love being the enemy. I'm not going to lie. All right, so bottom of the 6th, Mets trail 1-0, 2, 3, 4 for the Mets. Lindor, McNeil, Alonso. See if the Mets can get something done here. LRF, what's buddy?
Still available?
I believe rows 3 and 4, you can get some seats there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, LRF.
For that deal, for that minimum, right?
Corey Kluber has its better days, Wait, listen, the Sox have been a lot better than people expected, though. So, I know they struggled lately, but
Get a few more people buying it if he was going to be sitting out there. Now we're in the bottom of the 6th at Lindor, behind 0-1, Bieber.
come on, Frankie.
Francisco 0-2.
Francisco's swinging at everything.
And Eduardo both picked up on it. So the inning ends and Lindor's leading off. So he basically gave his glove and everything else to Tommy Pham and said, hey, you take this to the dugout. I got to get ready to hit because this clock is keeping everything moving. Just another small, subtle difference in how the game's changed for players in 2023.
Yeah, I just don't like Lindor left-handed. His swings are just. I just.
Everybody has a role here.
Tim, I'd love to. I don't have the time. I'd love to. I'm not going to lie. And I've been told by many people to do it, but I just don't have the time. Lindor, that's a shot. Get out. Yeah. Yeah, baby. That's a opposite field, left center field home run by Francisco Lindor, and he just ties the game in the bottom of the 6th, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That was a shot. And look at the swing. A leveled swing. Leveled. His shoulder was back. Just stood on the pitch and waited back. Beautiful swing. There we go. Good job, Frankie. Now let's win this damn ball game. Let's go. And here you go. The Mets fans are going nuts again. I'm telling you, there's something different about this team. And it's not just the young kids. Lindor is coming through. Alonso, Nimmo, Marte. It's a different vibe around this. Here's a stat, guys. 13 home runs in the last 6 games. 0 home runs in the previous 5. It's amazing. And again, it's not just the young kids hitting the home runs. Grant, that's a good call. And you know what? Left-handed, when he's on, he goes to left center field. Lindor has always been a gap-to-gap hitter. But when he's going left center, that's how you know he's on with his bat. Because that was a beautiful swing right there. Stood with that pitch. It was a good pitch. I agree, Jason, but you know what? The youth injection gets these other guys to get going a little bit. Come on, Jeff. Ball 4. Here we go. Exactly like game 1. That was just a beautiful swing. That ball carried to left center. Come on, Pete. I don't gonna lie, guys. It's been a long day. Whew. Come on, Pete. Here comes a right center field home run. I feel it. Oh, goodbye. Oh, what the hell? He had to hit that ball off the end of his bat. Oh, Jeff, what are you doing? Jeff just got called, just got thrown out at second. What are you doing? No outs. 2 outs, guys. That's bad base running right there by Jeff McNeil.
Yeah, Stephen Kwan's in the 72nd percentile when it comes to arm strength. And one thing that Stephen Kwan and Kyle Straw do really well is get behind the baseball. And that's exactly what he did right there.
That was stupid. You only had 1 out there, and you had a guy on first. You didn't have to do that. Wow. Pete must have hit that ball off the end of the bat.
Trying to be aggressive, trying to get in scoring position, sure.
But the result said, yeah, leave that nut alone. Swing on this from Beatty on a good slider there, cutter from Beaver.
Damn.
Alonso's been close twice tonight.
Just missed 2 times. You were right.
Good fundies. We talked about how good it was last year with good fundies. It's a big part why the Mets were so good last year. They didn't make those mistakes last year.
Feels like maybe seeing Aaron Judge hit 62 last year. That's up to shoot for.
And right to Kwan to end the inning, but not before Francisco Lindor with an opposite field home run to tie the ball game. I mean, I don't know where Alonso, he had to hit that ball off the end of the bat because that ball looked crushed when off the bat. But Lindor ties the game. It's a whole new ball game. Back to 0-0, guys. Yeah. Listen, he hit the ball off the end of his bat and he hit it 365 feet. Like, that's insane. I mean, let's be honest. That was Yankee Stadium. It'd be a home run, right? I mean, the Mets would have about 30 more home runs if you played at Yankee Stadium. The way they hit the ball to the warning track, how many times at Citi Field? So, once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. We've been killing it tonight. Over 100 steadily in the stream. I appreciate everybody tuning in. New subscribers, what's up? Don't forget, guys, you're a new subscriber to the channel. On this channel, you get shout-outs. All right? So, let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're watching. Are you a Mets fan? If you're not, that's cool. Let me know what team you root for. And again, keep on coming back for more, guys. We have fun on this channel. We watch Met games. You know, we go through the ebbs and flows, the roller coaster rides with our teams. And it's always fun. Bring your content. Bring your information. Bring your knowledge. Bring your opinions. Stupid comments. Everything. We get everything on this channel. We all know that. But it's all in fun. It's all because we love the game of baseball, right? Well, Sam, if you look at that pitch, it was low and outside. He went and got that ball. He basically hit that ball off on one knee. And again, Lindor has power. But when he tries to swing for home runs, that's when he gets into trouble. In that at bat, he didn't swing that hard. That's cool, Sam. Peru. Interesting. You know what I'm saying? You see what he did there. When he doesn't swing hard or swing for the fences, look, that swing was just a smooth swing. It was all one motion. He needs to do that more. When he tries to overpower and swing too hard, there's no reason for it. He's strong. He can hit for power if he wants to. He just overswings. All right, 7th inning. Verlander is still in the ball game, I believe.
Left side of the infield, Lindor and Ramirez each with a home run.
I believe he is. Let's see.
Squirrel affected second base on that slide there as they're working on it. The grounds crew adjusting second base, putting it back in the ground. You can listen to every MLB game live or on demand with At Bat, plus watch all minor league baseball and live look-ins on MLB Big Inning. Visit MLB.com/atbat for details.
All right, Verlander is on the mound in the 7th. Not a lot of Mets has made this journey before this year.
Happy to hear you say flying squirrels on Sunday Night Baseball.
I've been waiting all night to say it.
Chance to do it.
And Verlander's still kicking it, man. Well, he has 81 pitches. He gets out of a 7th inning quick. You know what? Why not throw him out there for the 8th? Saves your bullpen.
81 pitches so far for the 40-year-old righty. Off
Ooh,
speed.
nice curveball. That was a hard curveball that Naylor gave up on.
See, now he knows that he has that fastball up to play with if he wants to get Naylor to chase.
He might. It's tough because he could throw 95, 96 pitches in this inning. Maybe even 100. And I don't think they're going to put him out there after that.
That's a Cy Young Awards that you won. You know he's won 3, but it's the shares. How many votes you got? Put in a baseball reference. The third
I agree,
most
Ethan.
votes by Justin Verlander.
Popped it up.
Jammed on that one.
All the pop-ups today, man. Again, this is what Verlander does, man. He jams hitters. He keeps them off balance. This is what he does. Again, you don't need a 175 ERA from Verlander. You don't need that. Oh, baseball for life. That's awesome, buddy. That got you pumped, baseball, right? That's awesome, guy. Enjoy the rest of the game. Hopefully, you get a W for tonight. Baseball for life. Guess what? Hope you got that broom ready. Thank you for tuning in, man.
Last year, they ranked 27th in percent of ground balls turned in outs. This year, they're 5th. Which is comforting for the guy on the mound. Just to finish
Nice
that.
pitch. Be careful with Jimenez here. You get a ball inner half, he could turn one and hit one down that right field line. Cicero, New York. I have no idea where that is, Carlos. I'm not even going to lie. Oh, he went. Oh, come on. Oh. Cicero, what is that, upstate? I have no idea. That's a new one. I lived there all my life. I have no idea where that is.
Pretty incredible list, Tony. And on a day when
Come on,
both
Justin.
those guys are on the mound, you have to feel like you've got as good a chance to sweep a doubleheader as you
Got
have
him.
to win.
Verlander. Sharp ever since that home run from Ramirez. Gets stronger when the game goes further.
There are still a few good ideas left in the world. Ours was to make our own tequila. Grab a glass, amigo. Our casa is your casa.
All right.
Verlander, of course, was a Dominican guy.
Well, if you're watching the game or you don't hear it,
He threw it harder than
they're
most pitches, but he
chanting
also-
Yankees suck. And I'm assuming there's a Yankee fan being an ass with a Yankee jersey. So, yeah, there was a little bit of a commotion in the stands. So I'm assuming it was a Yankee fan since they were chanting Yankees suck. So,
When that guy didn't know where it was going, he punted the pitch.
oh, he went. Oh, he didn't go. Yeah, Jason, that's who it's going to be. You know, you had Ottavino and Robinson pitched 4 days in a row besides the off day. You can't destroy those guys. It's going to be Drew Smith. It's probably going to be, if Drew, we'll see what Verlander can do if he gets out of this inning. You got Drew Smith probably going to come in, and then you just go with it. What are you going to do? Come on, JV, let's go. Got him, baby. 7 innings, solid, dominant innings from Justin Verlander. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you this about Justin Verlander. Again, the injury that he had, and I talked about this when it happened, the teres major injury is a football injury for linemen, defensive linemen, offensive linemen. It is underneath the armpit, by the armpit. It is an injury that is very rare for pitchers. And that type of injury is not because of throwing or old age, right? It was an injury from him lifting weights, and he talked about that. He was lifting weights. He was doing some type of he was doing a little bit more lifting than he usually does early on in spring training. That affected him later on in spring training, where he was doing he was pushing up like this, and it just irritated it. And that's an injury that doesn't affect your throwing, doesn't affect your arm. You just have to make it heal. And that's why he was still throwing while during this injury. Not throwing like to full capacity, but he was, long tossing, just keeping the arm fresh. He is that guy that he even said it last year. When he got that Tommy John surgery, he felt like he had a new arm. And again, he is not a typical 40-year-old, guys. He is a guy at 39 and a half years old, won the Cy Young last year. You don't do that at 39 and a half years old and completely fall off the face of the earth. And you can see his stuff is still there. Throwing 95, 96 in the 7th inning. 40-year-olds don't do that. All right. It doesn't happen unless you're on steroids like Roger Clemens. All right. He had the best season at his age since Roger Clemens' steroid year with the Yankees. So it's something that is not common, but that doesn't mean he can't do it. And you saw Scherzer today. That's all we need Scherzer to be. 6 innings, a run or two, or none. Give me that every 5th day, and I'm telling you right now, the Mets are going to win a lot more ball games. So the Mets are going to the bottom of the 7th. They have the opportunity to take a lead here. They're tied 1-1 with the Guardians right now, looking for the sweep of the series and going with a 5-game winning streak to get on the road. And you know what? Why can't you believe the Mets aren't going to win this ball game? They've been dominant, getting the big hits in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings of these games. So, again, guys, I was never worried about Justin Verlander. And I said this, and you can quote me on this. You can come back on me. I know you guys always will. Oh, Robert, what's up, buddy? Yeah, your daughter took that picture up. If you want, let me just type in my email. That is my email. Please send me the picture of you and me. I want to put it on my community page on my channel, buddy, Robert. I met Robert today at the game, and his daughter took a picture with me and him. So shout out to his daughter, and he told me a story with his daughter, which is pretty cool. And Robert, no, I'm not famous. All right, I know your daughter said that, but yeah, it was pretty cool pic, and thank you for coming up to me, because some people don't come up to me, and I don't know why. Please introduce yourself, please. I have no problem meeting people or taking pictures. But yeah, please. I sent me that. My email's there, Robert. Just please send me that picture. I want to put it up on my page. I usually put up pictures I take with everybody on my community page. I'm gonna do a whole little montage of everybody I meet this year at Citi Field. So please do that. Darwin, awesome, buddy. Bat City Queen. That's awesome. I love that. Bat City Queen. That's awesome. Darwin, I appreciate it, buddy. All right. So Mark Cannon's leading off, bottom 7.
So it is about the shoes.
It is. I mean, that's a big deal for these guys. Wear different shoes every day. I used to wear the same pair all year long. Maybe 2 pairs.
Cannon, that might drop. Nope. Wow, you hit that harder than I thought. 1 out. Thought that ball was going to be a blooper.
2 the entire season.
Yeah. This big old rubber pitching toe on used to drag my foot on my bunion.
I'm glad you owned the bunion.
Yeah.
And the nation is glad that you shared that.
Toe. Now the kid's got boxes upon boxes of shoes. Hey, more power to them. Opened up the colors too. I think.
All right, see if we can get some more dramatics from the young guns.
What nails, spikes.
Football players wear cleats. Baseball players wear spikes. Nails.
Nails I've heard.
Never heard nails.
I'm out. You're right.
Spikes.
So Vientos is having issue. He's been since the home run, he has a little bit of issue with that slider, but he's been taking a lot of pitches on the outside corner too. Yeah, he has problems with that slider. He swings at it a lot, but maybe he can hit a mistake from Bieber here. Get a hanging slider.
Just the mention of a guy's name can light up a face.
Damn it, 2 outs. Yeah, Vientos has that problem with the slider. You can see it.
Bottom of the 7th, 91 pitches and 2 down.
All night long, he's had this slider that is a strike for a lot of the way until home plate. Looks like a strike for a long time.
Well, yeah, the AL Central and the NL Central is absolutely terrible. Oh, Robert, I wrote it down.
4 strikeouts.
I just posted it again, Robert. If you want to look at the chat real quick, ground ball should end the inning, and it does. Robert, I'm just going to click on it so you can see it on the screen if you can. It's right there. It's easy. MetsFan813@gmail.com. So the Mets don't score in the bottom of the 7th. And Robert, if you're looking at the screen, it's right up there. So I posted it up there so you can see it. So, yes, guys. So the Mets don't score. There's the bottom of the lineup, 6, 7, 8. Oh, sorry, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, got a little confused there. Or is this 5, 6, 7? 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. We'll go with that. Yeah, it's a good pitchers duel. Listen, I love pitchers duels. I hate these 8-7 games. I know people, chicks dig the long ball and all that crap. Give me a pitcher's duel every day of the week. I love those. I do love offensive struggles and the pitchers dominating. Yeah, you see LRF, people just completely thrown away the Cardinals if they were, 10, 11 games under 500. They've been playing well. They've been beating up on the Dodgers too. They've been playing better. And again, does anybody think that the Pirates are gonna, or the Brewers, or especially the Pirates, are gonna hold on to what they've been doing? I don't think so. The Milwaukee might have something to say about that, but Milwaukee has been, they're the ones, they have to beat the Cardinals. So it is interesting. So Robert, hopefully you got the email and you can send me that picture. So yeah, like I said, Bieber's a good pitcher. We all know that. Did anybody expect it to be a high-scoring game? I didn't. Both pitchers pitch well. You could, and it shows you what a good pitcher, not even a great pitcher, a good pitcher that has good stuff can shut down any lineup. I don't care how good your lineup is. Oh, well, guess what, guys? Breaking news: Justin Verlander is out for the 8th. I love it. Gotta save the bullpen here.
Had some teammates I bumped heads with over the years. David Wells comes to mind, big lefty for the Yankees. We ended up becoming good friends,
This is why I hate ESPN. Why show an interview you did earlier with Scherzer while it's the top of the 8th, a tie game? Like, can you show the damn screen? Full screen, please. Popped up. Should be 1 out. Come on, Brett, get there. Yeah, 1 out. Once again, guys, Verlander is pitching in the 8th. Jason, I agree. I'd rather lose the game of Verlander in the 8th. 9th inning, I don't expect him to go 9. But give me 8 innings. If Verlander gives up a run here, I'll deal with it. Because there's nobody in the bullpen. Because Ottavino and Robertson is not available tonight in this game. So, I trust Verlander tired over Drew Smith or anybody else in that bullpen. Come on, Justin.
After fly out from Brennan to foul territory, strong foul
And why not? Why not bring him out for the 8th? It's the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9. I trust Verlander to get out of that. If he doesn't, you tip a cap to the Cleveland Guardians, and hopefully you can score some runs and win the game. Other than that, come on, Justin. Ground ball. Come on, Justin. Yeah, 2 outs. See, Francisco got there a little bit quicker that time. 2 outs. 97 pitches for Verlander.
Yeah, pretty much almost the same play as last time, except this time it did not bounce twice and a third time. And because of it, Francisco Lindor understands the velo. Strong makes a strong throw over to being first.
97 pitches, guys. Uh-oh. That should end the inning, and it does. 8 innings for Justin Verlander, the first Mets pitcher to go 8 innings this season. Game 48 of the season, Justin Verlander. That's why you pay him the big bucks. Number 1, keep your team in a ball game and save your freaking bullpen that you needed to save. All right, Robert. I got it. Buddy. So tomorrow morning when I'm putting up a couple of pitches that I took with people at Citi Field, I'll put it up there. So once again, this is why you pay him, right? Again, I don't expect him to go 8. Nobody usually goes 8 innings every game anymore, right? But this is what, look, after today's game, game 1, all the bullpen with Ottavino, Rayley, and Robertson, and you had to use those guys because clearly, and this is what I usually get on Buck for, he usually takes his plan and goes with it no matter what. He got it another way when he put Robertson back in the game in the 9th. I didn't think he was going to do that. He did that because after the Mets took the lead, he says, we got to win this game now. And the hell with the second game. Win that game, and we'll figure it out in game 2. But when Verlander pitches 8 innings, it saves your bullpen. You know, the Mets get a run here, you're probably going to see Drew Smith in the 9th, and you run with it. Look, you lose this game, it sucks. But Bieber also pitched extremely well as well. So you lose this game. When was the Mets' last complete game? That's a great question, Stezo. Who knows? Let me see. I'm gonna use the good old Google. Let's see. All right, this might be interesting. Let's see. I have no idea. I don't know if I can find that. How about that? Honestly, all right, so bottom of the 8, Bieber is still in there. Verlander is done after 8, which is expected. But let's see if he can. We can get a run in here. That'd be nice. That's a base hit for Alvarez. Leadoff hit. I wonder if they're going to pinch run for Alvarez here. Put in a faster runner. Yep, they are. No, they're keeping him in there. I love it.
Creates a bond and a belief in your team when you start coming back in games. He hits the home run to tie, and the 8th inning has been magic.
All right.
This week for the
8th inning magic. I like it. I think they're giving a pinch runner. Yeah, they're doing a pinch runner. Yep, makes sense. Who's coming out? Escobar? Marte. Here we go. Marte is pinch running for Alvarez. Makes sense. Marte stole a base today in game 1. Had a 3-for-4 night. looking to try to get Bieber off guard here. Maybe try to get the scoring position here. Right? Brandon Nimmo leading off. Here we go. Brandon Nimmo coming up. Top of the order.
I can give an answer to that in a second, Eduardo.
Come on, Brandon.
Bieber to Nimmo. Marte's not going anywhere in the first
All right.
pitch. This is game. So he was
You know what? Nimmo's going to look for a pitch to drive here because I guarantee Bieber's paying a lot of attention to Marte.
Then Marte jogged down, pulled on the helmet, pulled on that bit, he was ready to go.
Well, stolen bases on the season. The eighth inning has been the magic inning for the Mets, and they
Ooh, nice move. Wow, Bieber got a great move. Marte didn't have a big lead and he almost got picked off.
Like Kevin Mitchell in 1986, during Game 6, we had to run out to the clubhouse and grab him and go, hey, we need you.
There you go, Muttley. Oh. All right, he's telling Bieber to watch the batter to get ready in the box. Such a stupid rule.
There is. There should be another.
Bieber holds the ball. Nimmo.
Oh, Brandon, damn it.
Jimenez. And Nimmo to pop out.
I'm a little surprised that he went swinging on that pitch. That's a pitch that he usually consistently doesn't swing at. All right, one out. Francisco Lindor coming up. Francisco Lindor and Brooks Rayley is warming up in the bullpen. Very interesting. So he's gonna come in the ninth, no matter if the Mets are tied in the ninth or leading. So Rayley might get the save. That's very interesting. He pitched earlier today. Interesting. All right, can Francisco have another
In the sixth.
big hit here?
Back to Marte. Safely. Francona's looking at the street play guy to see if we need to have a look at that, and he says no.
All right, guys. Mets have one out, one on, tie game, bottom of the eighth. Francisco Lindor up.
97th pitch of the night for Bieber. Marte not going.
Tried him again. Second disengagement. So we'll see what Marte does here. Will they try a third disengagement? If they don't get him out, he gets second base. So
With the throw,
very close.
Mailer lets the ball travel deep into it, just places a tag down, doesn't have to chase.
Quick feet.
We're gonna check this one.
Yes.
So they're challenging the call. And let's be honest, guys.
That's one of the quicker right-handed moves you'll see.
He actually might be out at first.
Quick tag.
It's very close. I think he got it on the shoulder. So they're challenging the call at first to pick off.
As he did right there. This is gonna be interesting.
It's going to be close because I think he got him, guys.
He got picked off in game 1 today, this afternoon. This right here, see where he's right-footed, right in the middle of the bat.
He might be out, guys.
You can't really tell from this angle, but to me, he's out right there.
Your point about the left-handed first baseman is right on target.
It's close.
Hernandez.
I don't know, committee. They've been changing calls that didn't have a lot of evidence today against the Mets. So I wouldn't be shocked if they changed this call to an out. I don't think there's enough evidence, but they've been changing calls today.
It's a hard one because that foot of Nailers is in the way of the yellow mid of Marte, whether it gets to the bag or not.
I don't think there's enough evidence, but I don't think they should change it because I don't think it's close. I don't think you could tell.
That's the only angle that they have. They showed a different one on the field. Safe.
They called them safe. All right. So we got lucky there because there ain't enough evidence. But it's a good challenge by Francona. It's the eighth inning. It's that's the go-ahead run right there. So remember, guys, second disengagement of the at bat. If he doesn't pick him off in the third attempt, Marte gets second base. So what is he going to do here? Is Marte going to run?
Disengagements. Marte's not going, and that ball.
And Lindor hits it foul down the line. Oh, he just missed that fair. Ken, Marte wasn't even taking a big lead. I just think it was a great pickoff move.
Wasn't one that went over the wall, but it was a game winner. That was the game that Alonso hit the grand slam.
All right, guys. So Marte's still on first. Lindor 0-1 count.
Marte going, he slipped. Check swing.
Oh yeah, check swing goes in. That's a base hit. The Mets did a hit and run there, and Lindor check swing, and it is first and third with 1 out. Well, sometimes the hit and run works.
Something wrong with Starling Marte at third base. He almost fell coming out of the gate when he was trying to steal, and Joey Cora is actually calling over now. Marte says he's okay, but right there, that's not
All right. There you go. So Marte tripped over first and still get the third like pretty easily. All right. There you go. Well, we got McNeil up now. Come on, Jeff.
Guardians on the corners are in the middle infield halfway. First pitch, strike one to McNeil. You called it, Carl.
See that hit and run there
Third and 1 out was the fact that Marte was in motion.
made the shortstop be in motion, and the ball went right where the shortstop would have been if he didn't try to steal.
Again in the 8th inning.
Come on, Jeff, base it. No, there you go. Don't swing at that crap.
High, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Ken, get the ball in the air. I take my chances with them trying to throw out Marte at home. Ethan, keep him in there. I can care less. But what Bieber's doing, he's keeping that ball. His pitches has been up in this inning, so
Himself on contact.
come on, Jeff.
Verlander looks on.
Jeff, that was a pitch. You got to hit. Damn it.
In order to not get a good lead, Bieber was delivering the baseball. He needs to be able to put pressure on the middle infielders.
Bieber season high 103. This is 102. McNeil.
All right, gets it. This is going to be deep enough.
Did his job as Marte will tag. He'll come in. Lindor
Yes.
second, and he's on
Yes. 2-1. There's your sack fly, guys. Mets it ahead and looking for more. Let's go, guys. Now that's a productive out right there, guys. Sack fly. That's all you got to do. 2-1 Mets. Baseball 101, baby. That's what I'm talking about. What does this look like, guys? What did we talk about all year last year? The Mets always did productive outs, small ball, manufacturing runs. That's all you got to do. Joe, you're 100% correct. All right, here comes Big Meat Pete. 2-1 Mets, 2 outs, run around second. Take a base hit here, get another run in.
Alonso's just missed a homer.
And Bieber's still in the game. It's crazy. Every ball, he's just struggling. I'll take a 2-run bomb. Get a 3-run lead, I'll take it. Come on, Pete. Ooh.
Bieber now with a new season high in pitches, and 14 times this year, both starters went 7 innings. This is going to be the first game where both go 8, assuming Bieber.
Yeah,
finishes
I don't know.
the inning. 1-1.
Oh, Pete, that's a hanger.
2.
Well, Ethan, put it this way. We were just talking about I'd rather have Verlander in here than anybody else in the bullpen in the 8th. Maybe Francona's doing the same thing. Maybe he doesn't trust anybody in his bullpen. Bieber's pitching well. Why put in a guy you don't trust from the bullpen, right? It's the same thought process. All right, Pete. Pete, that was a hanger that Bieber gave him. He didn't swing at. So, come on, Pete, base it.
1-2.
Off the end of the bat.
Straw is
And the inning is over, but not before. Jeff McNeil. Sack fly to left field. Brings in Marte to get a 2-1 lead for the Mets. And the Mets are going for 5 in a row. Top of the ninth. Brooks Rayley looking like he's coming in to save the game. Interesting move. Again, Rayley pitched earlier today in game 1. Pitched well. He didn't throw a lot of pitches, so I guess that's the reasoning behind Buck. So, yeah, again, guys, remember, Ottavino pitched and Robertson pitched. They pitched a lot over the last couple of days. Multiple innings, a lot of pitches. So, we all know that Robinson and Ottavino was not going to come into this ballgame most likely. And it would be important for Rayley to get it done. Remember, top of the order, guys. Remember, Verlander got 7, 8, 9 out, so it's the top of the order for the Guardians here. So, and the reason why I think the reason, and this is a good call by Buck, to be honest with you. Look at the lineup, right? Who is it? It's Kwan, Rosario, and Ramirez, right? Kwan is a lefty. Ramirez is a lefty. Ahmed Rosario is the only righty there. So in that situation, why not, right? Kind of makes sense, right? Bringing out the lefty there. You know, Kwan is a pain in the ass because he's a pesky hitter. He doesn't strike out a lot. Rosario, you know, he can take you deep. If you make a mistake, he can take you deep. But I think, you know, Ramirez is a switch hitter, right? But he's a better left-handed hitter than right-handed hitter. So I think that's what Buck's thinking there. And I don't have no problem with him bringing in Rayley here. Of course, Tom. Of course. But you know what? Let's be how many times this year, guys, can you really say not having Diaz cost us, right? Not a lot this year, right? Because the Mets either have won games where they blown out teams or they got blown out. Hasn't been a lot of opportunities like right now where you would obviously love Diaz in a spot, but you don't have him, all right? You know, we talk about Diaz. It sucks, but you got to move on. And you know what? Robinson, for the almost every time this year, has pitched really well. Here we go, guys. Top of the ninth, 2-1 Mets. Rayley in to close the game.
Juan squares to bunt, pulls it, and that is nearly.
Oh, what a play by Rayley. If Rayley did not make that play, that would have been a base hit. A bunt base hit. 1 out. Look at that old man move.
Nothing wrong with that.
Pitchers, are they athletes? Are left-handed?
Look at that. Flip the ball. Woo. This is what the energy, this is the vibe of the team. I'm telling you, everybody's making an extra effort, guys. Yeah, look at that. Rayley pointed to the fans. Alonso saying, hell yeah. All right, 1 out, guys. 1 pitch, 1 out. I'll take it. Rosario up. All right, so hold on 1 second. Sanchez is getting a new pitch com. As you know, pinch runner was Marte for Alvarez, so Sanchez is in the game here.
Ours was to make our own tequila.
So we got 1 out, bottom of the ninth. Mets lead 2-1.
Our casa is your
Ahmed Rosario up. Again, you got to be careful here. Rosario hits lefties pretty well. Can't leave a hanger over the plate here.
Pitch com issue to be addressed.
Was it? I think this is a smart move though. You see this a lot in Major League Baseball games, right? Sanchez right there with.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's a mistake.
he hit Rosario. That's not good. Not in front of Ramirez. That hurt.
And now the go-ahead run will come to the plate, and it will be Jose Ramirez.
Teammate.
Yeah, Joe, I think he just got his ankle twisted up in that. Wow, that ball moved a lot. Jeez. That cutter moved from the middle of the plate to Rosario's knee. All right.
Jose Ramirez is that man.
All right, let's be careful here with Ramirez here. dangerous spot here for Rayley.
Diaz, who's arguably the best closer in baseball. The Mets did not have the luxury of bringing him in at all this year. The after effect of that is not only is he unavailable, it affects everybody else in the bullpen. It changes their roles. 1-0.
Ground ball, double play.
Lindor in the hole to second.
Double play, game over, baby. 5 in a row for the Mets. And the Mets win 2-1. Once again, the Mets with a late inning game-winning run to win the ball game, and the New York Mets have won 5 in a row, swept the Cleveland Guardians, and going on the road with some good-ass vibes. Mets win, put it in the books, 2-1.
How about this defense?
Good play, backhand by Lindor, nice throw to McNeil, and thrown. That was a tough turn right there. And the Mets get it done. And there's the sweep, guys. The brooms are out. The brooms are out. The brooms are out. Mets win. Mets win. The Mets win again. And let's be honest, guys. The New York Mets should beat Chicago, right? They're a decent team. They got some good young players. But the Mets are better than the Chicago Cubs. You go into Chicago, not an easy place to play. But the Mets have played well in Chicago. So let's get it done. But the Mets, 5 in a row, get the job done. Another late inning, come from behind win. And the Mets win. You got to love it, guys. Put it in the books. Mets are 25-23. Not less than a week ago, the Mets were 3 games under 500. The worst they were all year. And now they're 2 games back over 500. And just to have some little bit of fun here, guys, for a second, right? Let's just look real quick. For all the people, season's over people, right? The Mets remain 5 games out of first place in the division, right? Last week we were almost 9 games out, all right? So we didn't play well over the last 15 days, yet we gained ground on the Braves, all right? Let go through. By the way, guys, the season's over. Right? For most people that talked about it, right? The New York Mets are now the 3rd team in a wild card. Again, it doesn't matter right now, but we're back. All right? We're back in a playoff spot. We're in contention. That's what matters. Again, if you're between, I always said this in all my life. If you're 4 to 6 games from a division, back from your division, you have about by the middle of June into July, you're in prime spot because we don't face the Braves a lot until later in the year, right? Most of our games against the Braves are what is it, July, August, September, if I'm not mistaken. You stay in the 4, 5, 6 games back range. You stay within those games, and then when you face them, you take series. And that's where you get – because remember, guys, the Mets and the Braves were playing well all year. It took for the Braves to face the Mets at the right time, at the right moment, to take over that division. All you got to do is stay within striking distance of the Braves and stay within striking distance. And I talked about this last week on the Shea Bridge show when the Mets were struggling before the Rays series. What did I say? The teams you're chasing in the wild card, forget about the division at that time. Pittsburgh, Arizona, and it was Miami. Those are the 3 teams you were chasing in the wild card that were leading the wild card on Monday. That's the teams you're chasing. The teams like the Padres, who can't get out of their own way. Teams like the Phillies, who also can't get out of their own way. They'll win 1 or 2 games here, and then they'll lose 3 in a row. Once again, guys, 5 games out. Last week, we were cracking on 9 games out of first place. In a week, we gained 4 games by playing terrible baseball and winning here and there, and then we won 5 in a row. And it turns out where we were now, 5 games back. At this time last year, the Braves were 10 games back. And then they went on that hot June 1st, all the way until the end of the season. So you're in striking distance a lot better than where the Braves were last year. With that said, guys, put it in the books for game 1. Put it in the books. Put it in the books for game 3. Mets sweep, 5 in a row. The Mets are back. And thank you, committee. Katana will be making rehab starts, and he might be back in the rotation soon, taking Carrasco's spot. Thank you, committee, for that info right there that I remember it, but I forgot. So, once again, the young bloods, the baby Mets, as Lindor calls them, brought this energy to this team. And guess what, guys? Who were the guys that got the job done today? Lindor, McNeil, right? The veterans of the team. But it brings a different vibe around these guys with the young kids. And again, ever since Vientos has come up, and again, he hasn't been doing much damage, but ever since they came up together, the 3 guys that came through the farm system together, since they've been all together, the Mets have not lost. With that said, Mets win 2-1, head into Wrigley Field in Chicago to play a series against the Cubs. Again, a Cubs team that are 5-6 games under 500. They're a decent team, but the Mets are better than them. Let's win another series, all right? Let's win 3 series in a row, get back on track, take over all the nonsense and the warp of a brain of people that saying the season is over. And by the way, guys, another pitcher that goes 6 innings or more, New York Mets are 11-0. Quality pitching. You don't always got to talk about the offense. When people destroy the offense for a month now, when you get a quality start, 6 innings, that's the threshold. The Mets are 11-0. Quality starts get you a chance of coming back and winning this ball game, guys. That's why quality starts matter. Because you don't have to be a great offense to come back from 1 or 2 runs down. It takes a home run here, a clutch hit here, and it changes everything. With that said, and Mothman, I talked about Ronnie Mauricio before the game. Don't change the vibe of this team. The team's playing well. You don't need to bring up Ronnie Mauricio just to bring up Ronnie Mauricio. The team is playing well now. Let's not mess up the mojo that's going on right now. I understand people want Mauricio up. Don't bring him up just to bring him up. The team's doing well right now. There's some type of glue working out right here. Mothman, I agree. Ronnie's on fire. But you don't have to bring up a guy up just to bring a guy up because he's on fire in AAA. The team is playing well. Let's not mess with it right now. Right? Just because Vogelback's not hitting and Pham is not looking good, don't mess up the vibe of the team right now. Something's working. Don't change it up. That's important. All right, guys? We might need him in July. Why not? But things get turned around. And I know when people get frustrated, they talk about, oh, the season is over. Never say a season's over, right? Remember, I guarantee you Cardinals fans were saying season is over when they were 10 games under 500. The Mets were nowhere near 10 games over 500, guys. Jason, I'm not. Thank God. Mothman, I don't. But that doesn't mean you just have to bring up Ronnie Mauricio to bring up Ronnie Mauricio. Because at this point, you're winning games. Right? Tommy Pham got the game-winning hit the other day against the Rays. Vogelback got a huge base hit in game 1, right? To get on base that we needed at that moment. Jason, I'm done. But again, don't bring up a player when you don't have to. You're winning ball games. Everybody, and when I mean everybody is contributing. That's all you have to care about. Right? everybody from the first guy to the 26th man, everybody has been contributing somewhere or other in these 5-game winning streak. Don't mess with the flow. Don't mess with the mojo. Don't mess with the vibe right now. It's working. Don't ruffle the apple cart. Don't mess with it. That's what I'm going to say about it. Ronnie Mauricio deserves to be up, but don't bring him up just to be up. Because when Ronnie Mauricio, I'm telling you right now, yeah, Joe, if I do that one day, I'll be streaming a lot because I won't have a job. So again, once again, guys, stay positive. This team is a different team from a week ago. All you gotta do is check out the Shea Bridge show on Monday when we did it last Monday. It was a lot of F-bombs, a lot of pissed off Met fans, me, Hayden, all you guys. People saying season is over. It's gonna be a different Shea Bridge show tomorrow, 7 p.m., guys. So make sure me and Hayden, we're going to have some fun. Mothman, probably Vogelback, to be honest. That would probably be the case because I think Tommy Pham brings a little bit of speed and the pinch running ability. Vogelback's one-dimensional. He's just a piece of meat at this point at the plate that occasionally swings. So with that said, guys, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., me, Hayden, going to talk about the Rays series, the Guardian series, the Cubs series coming up, and the series after that. Going into Chicago on a 5-game winning streak with a lot of momentum, with a lot of fire in this team's belly right now. This team has come back in 5 straight games. And big late inning clutch performances to get it done, guys. So with that said, everybody have a great night. As always, Met fans, let's go Mets. 7 p.m. tomorrow, the Shea Bridge Show. Me and Hayden going to talk about these last 2 series the Mets just had. 5-1 on the homestand. Everybody have a great night. Let's go Mets. See you tomorrow night, guys. Have a good night.
We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna